Yep.
we'll ignore your problems for now, and proceed to trying to figure out how you're going to get
Yeah.
out of this problem. That is also
Yeah.
your problem.
And so I'm doing the recap then, aren't I? Oh, exciting. Um,
Exciting.
oh, it's so exciting, guys. Um,
So last
we
time,
so last time,
And I.
uh,
LD.
And
you know, me, Sabras, and Scrap split off from Lilith and I was gonna say Morphos. Your name isn't Morphos in this. It's
nope,
Gideon.
wrong game.
It's a wrong character. I'm sorry.
Wrong game.
It's been a while.
Alright, what's the necromancer in this one?
So they went off to go and do their research, and we went off down some alleys to do some investigating. In terms of, I didn't catch much of what they did. I think they. What did you guys do again? I completely forgot.
So,
You did
We basically investigated, let's be honest.
science.
Yeah, actually, no, you got
Academic
like
shit.
a nice like night in with like some dressing gown, I think,
I mean,
or something
I
like
did.
that.
Lilith just stayed in the lab. I got a
I'm
nice
sat in
night
a corner pretending to be asleep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that.
getting
Yeah.
the 5-star treatment because I have a cool mustache.
You're like
Moustache.
both having a great time, and then we go down some sewers. We found some black powder. Follow it down some sewers. My my ex comes out of nowhere. Weird stalker. Says I have a bounty on my head. Great. I'm good. Just what I wanted to hear. Little fox lady, and a glowing little stone gem pipes up. It starts doing something weird and wants to head a certain way. We were like, let's go towards it. What bad thing could happen? So we followed the gem, found some cells. I don't think we found much other than we did find a key behind a brick, I think. And then we went down, and there was some sort of like chasm, or I think it's called chasm, something like that. Some sort of open water. Got on a boat. Big regrets because halfway across, there's two giant boys trying to kill us, and the boat was slowly sinking. So there's no boat now. But we'll get around to that. It's fine. That can be
I was
fixed.
gonna say not your
And then-
major problem.
And then there was a puzzle.
Yeah.
And Sophie hasn't got the intelligence to solve a puzzle, so neither does Goldie. And that transfers into her stats, to be honest. It took us a while. We got there in the end. To be honest, I think we just guessed. And
To be fair, for the most part, you guys kind of overthought it more than anything. But puzzles
Yeah.
being what they are, it's either that or you just don't get it.
True, yeah. Well, went through some doors, went upstairs, and there was a bridge, and I think it was me and Scrap were like, you know what, let's just run across the bridge. Let's just run. And Boot opened the door on the other side. And here we are. At our doom.
And now the end is near, and so we face possibly the final curtain. So, as of technical current, you are all in combat, but before combat officially starts, is there anything anyone wants to say or do?
Yes. Lots of things. All the things. Yes. So I'm going to address him,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to say,
Just wait for a second before we start killing each other. Does he say anything or still?
No. There is
Nothing.
there is just that calm for a moment, where you can see he's just glaring over, waiting for any small reaction you make.
Stand off.
So, what do you say?
Okay. So I don't really know your name. I don't know your shtick. What I do know is that you need something, that you want something, and we want something. So let's try to, talk it out before, you know.
They remain silent, enough that, given they're not making any physical actions as of the moment, you can hear the very, what would normally be like soft breathing, but seems to be exaggerated by the mask a slight bit. You hear them breathing just a little bit as you're talking. They're not saying anything, they're just watching. What else?
So, we accidentally, believe it or not, got in here. Yeah, it's not a wise idea to put a key on the brick, It's like putting a key on the doormat. It's the same thing. So yeah, stupid people like us can just waltz in. Anyway, we want to get out of here without causing any problems. How much can we pay you for that privilege or honor or yeah?
First make a persuasion check.
Oh, oh.
Oof.
That's one way to kick it off, isn't it? Fucking hell.
You can have my inspiration.
Okay, thank you.
I'll donate it to the cause.
As well, just to make sure it's all defined as usual, Sophie, you do get inspiration for doing the recap.
Hey.
If you already have it, give it to someone else, or use it before the end of session.
Okie dokie.
So,
Okay.
Mosey, re-roll that with advantage. Oh, fucking... Okay. So, this isn't a get out of jail free card. This is time that you are buying, quite a bit of it. They don't say anything immediately, they let it stir for a moment, and you can't see any features under the mask, so you can't tell what the thought process is. But given that they don't make any motions for a couple more seconds, other than a few small head turns here and there, he's looking around the room toward the drones, and then looks over toward you, and with that similar kind of like face-covered Bane mask kind of effect, you hear them say, "I am curious. Why would you think, with all the resources I have here, that I would require funding?"
Well, not just funding in terms of monetary gain. There are also other things that I'm sure you'll need.
Enlighten
Like
me.
no, I'm not gonna say that.
Like our bodies. It's like, damn it, shit!
What did it say?
Nothing, carry on. It was me being stupid.
So, yeah, I'm sure well, by looking at this fine lab, I see money is not an issue. But what do you need? Come on, throw me a bone here.
Following with your persuasion, I require test subjects. Simple and true. I've had plenty in my years, and you've seen what I've been capable of. He then looks toward Goldie. As one of you have seen my control over them. Unfortunately, I have hit a snag as your companion here has seen me. At the very least, she cannot be allowed to commit the sin of identifying me. I can allow a measure, a modicum of respect for getting in here. And believe it or not, it isn't easy to just walk in here. That's what the guards are for. And also why the doors are locked. And why there is a very small difficulty of getting in. People aren't supposed to just be able to wander in. So for that much, and for chasing me down in such a relatively timely manner, I will give you the due respect you're afforded. But if you truly will be of some worthiness to me in what I require, I will need assurances, painful ones, that will allow me to track you. If you can agree to this, I harbour no ill will, and I may plausibly have a use for you, and a prize in return. But what say you?
And I just put my arms around Goldie and Severus in a huddle. Okay,
1 second.
1 second.
With
Okay,
the very like tense air and creatures in every corner, and him just staring over you guys, just like, all right, what the fuck are we doing?
Exactly. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna need to know how hurt are you guys, and how capable you are of fighting right now.
I'm a little hard. I guess those things did hurt me a little bit. I don't know how much longer I can probably go on for if we do fight.
Severus, how much rage do you still have?
The thing scratched me a little bit, but I'm good to go.
So what do you say about this proposal? He's probably going to put a fetter on all of us.
Well, is it just a tracker? Like, I saw what he did.
You're right, and we can't really cut him, but you see how many enemies we have here, and we're only the 4 of us. By the way, Mitsuko, what can you do?
She just is kind of. She's not really as much huddled in this. She's more just like head just underneath you all, like looking in between you each, underneath you, just looking with curiosity. She goes, I can do little bits of magic, but I don't think we should fight them. I'm getting bad feelings.
With all due respect, Mitsuko, your thought process is what brought us here.
Well, actually, it was the gem. And she holds it up.
Did the gem do
What's it do?
anything?
Yeah.
Maybe. It's been doing weird things as of late. New colours, weird shaking, pointing us in places that's probably not so good for us, but it pointed us where we kind of were going, so it did the job. But other than that, I don't really know.
Anyway, so it's either fighting him or complying with him. Both are pretty bad.
Yeah, we're kind of in a sticky situation. Hmm.
Cleverest, any input?
Oh, I was waiting for you guys to tell me. Are we fighting? Going?
Um,
Staying?
Okay.
Wait.
I have an idea.
Okay.
In order for him to put the... We'll be right with you. It's okay, we'll be right with you. In order for him to put the tracker on us, he has to get close.
Some of the Modrons just go about their business.
Okay, I was...
Who's to say it will be him that puts the tracker in us?
Or it could be one of the drones, the thing?
I mean, he said he wanted test subjects.
We can bring him, you know, hidden air quotes.
I mean, I have someone he can have. You know, it's not morally right, but if it gets my ass out of it, I'll do it.
That's an option, and he would be an interesting test subject for him as well. He did say you have 24 hours to leave the town, otherwise he's going to come for you, right?
Yes. He's gonna be coming for me anyway, so...
That could be a good opportunity. Otherwise, okay, so it depends on the tracker. If it's going to be on all of us, then it's going to be a bit of an issue.
You guys
But
hear the sounds of a set of claws scraping on the ground as the troll in the corner. You see as it's smelled something as the Modrons get closer, and they open up this chest and pull out a big slab of what looks to be slightly diseased meat and throw it into the cage. And the troll immediately like snaps toward it, misses it, and then claws it and drags it forward, and then pushes it up to its mouth and starts sniffing, and then just
Anyway,
Ew.
if push comes to shove, we kill him. You guys are going to give everything you have on him. Okay?
Right.
That's what we need to do. He controls everything. That's our only way out. That's what I think, at least.
So we're not gonna try the trackers, or...
That depends, because if it's on me, I can rip an arm off. It doesn't matter. I'm scrap metal anyway. But, yes. Also...
I mean... Oh, sorry, carry on.
No, go.
Well, I suppose he wants a tracker on us. I was gonna say if he gave us a bit of time, to maybe get him something or someone, but I suppose he'll want to track us.
Yes, but... The thing is, if we bring your ex here and then turn on him, we'll have another issue with your angry ex. You know?
I don't think he's angry at me, it's more I'm angry at him.
No, yes, but he still wants to kill you. So if he will see an opportunity to kill you, we'll join forces with this guy.
Well, we'll have the others, right? Like, we're not just gonna come here by ourselves.
So we're going with Blackwell?
you all hear. I think that's enough. I want a
2 minutes.
decision.
I promise. 2 minutes.
Make a persuasion
And
check.
we're with you.
Persuasion check with
Now,
disadvantage.
come on. Disadvantage?
Yep.
Killing me, Lee.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Ah.
I think you've had enough time. And I'm growing impatient. Your
You know, it's-
decision.
Impatience is bad for your skin, you know. You should be a bit more patient. Anyway, this guy. So what's the, okay. Okay, so, listen. We have a really good offer for you. And you know, I like business. I'm a businessman by profession. You know, I may seem like a guy who plays stuff and a robot, but I am a businessman. So, what we have to offer you is one fine test subject. Goldie can attest to that.
Oh, trust me, he is really fine. He'd be a great test subject.
Yes, and we can bring him to you on a silver platter as long as you tell your picnic not to kill us.
As he makes his way around this altar in the middle, and he stops here, looking over towards you, the staff he's holding, the bottom of it touching the ground as not really support, but it looks like it. As it looks towards you each, you're hearing the kind of like gas mask breathing. He goes, "What is their name?"
Well, 1 second, let me just go to my little folder in my little brain. That's a good question. His name's Clarence.
Full
I used to
name.
call him Clary.
Full name.
Full name? Clarence Blackwell.
That small-time mercenary. Is that all you have to offer me?
And his girlfriend. I can probably get his girlfriend.
You hear a bit of snickering, and it very quickly breaks into a full-on, like, chuckling. And then you see that he kind of, like, grabs his chest for a moment, and then stops laughing and looks toward you. Returns his hand back down to his side. You are sadistic. If you would offer me both. I assume you know not of the woman's current composition.
Goldie?
No, I don't know what that word means.
He moves towards the centre here and picks up some of what looks to be ashes in a bowl that's held aloft about 4 feet between these two pillars. And he kind of scatters a little bit of it around the edge of the bowl, and then looks at his hand with the ashes covering his gloved palm. Turns back, looks toward you each. Then I will not spoil it. If you can bring me the pair, we have a deal. For that much, you will give me that and more. Just with the woman alone, but we have a bargain with them both.
Ooh.
But
See, guys, that was easy.
the matter of the tracker. You will each be marked, except for the toy. You, I am slightly more curious about dissecting, if I'm being honest with you. However, your tongue slips you safety, so I shall allow you to go with them. However, I will make a note that you should be quite familiar with these trackers, should I deem it necessary, will not only send me your location at all times, but should you enter or exit or communicate certain words in certain locations, they will activate and trigger intense, very soul-rendering electrocution to you, as well as another nifty little trick I have available. However, should you bring me these people, I will have them removed, and I will even offer you a very unique point, a chemical concoction of mine. It allows me to, over time, and when I perfect it, it will be even grander, a concoction that allows me to transmute one matter to another. I haven't gotten as far as mechanical to flesh, but you see the head turn slowly and look toward the troll. I can do certain other interesting things. And as he slowly takes steps over toward the cage, after about 30 seconds, as he's just talking about the vague specifics of what he actually does here, using magical, mechanical, and scientific magics and alterations. I can rend flesh safely and cause it to become something more beautiful. This troll, by birth, had its sight revoked. I've kept it in a cage as part of another test I require of it. But they move the staff forward enough so that it points about a foot away from the cage, and you see as the troll starts sniffing and it moves toward the cage, grips against the bars, and it looks out with no real direction. You see as this gas starts to emit out of the gems from the staff and puff in the general direction of the creature. And you see as it sniffs and intakes this very, very darkish green substance, it recoils for a moment and falls to the ground, curls into a ball, almost as if it's been made not only frightened, but paralysed. And as it curls into a ball, you see its whole body shuddering, and you see as it starts to rake its claws, almost to the point of bleeding along the ground, and then it slowly uncurls and pushes its legs out as far as it can go until it kicks the bars, and you see it's clawing toward its eyes with such a frenzy and a madness, and it starts to rip and rake its own skin off from around its face, and its eyes are pressed into with its middle fingers as if it's got such intense pain there. And as it's gorging its own flesh and eyes, you see all of a sudden as it pulls its hands away, full body shivering, but as it stops, it falls into what looks like a slumber for a moment, its eyelids closed over. You then see as it shakes once more and pushes itself into a kneeling position, and as its head moves to look at the moment toward this furnace device over here to your left, you see as it starts to motion its head around the room, as its eyelids open up. As it looks around, you see what looks to be that green tinted coloration is slowly coming into a bit of blue as the skin starts to repair very slowly. It's very bright and gauntish white for that one moment, and then it gets this bluish hue by force, and it starts to grow like a virus across its flesh, and then its eyes go from this slight glossed milky colour to a very bright red and golden, and you see one little, what looks to be portion of its forehead starts to go bulbous, and this bump comes breaking out, and the skin in a circular fashion shreds, and the skin around that becomes blue, and then there's this very small nub of a horn that grows out of its head for a moment. And as it looks around with new eyes, it looks towards the doctor, who takes a step away from the cage, and it moves toward the cage, holding on to the bars, looking at him with intensity. And then it looks around the room with this new curiosity, this new sense that's been given to it. He then taps the floor with the cane and looks back toward you each over his shoulder, and then looks back up at this weird, now secondary traited creature. This is what I am developing. I will create beautiful monstrosities, but my creations also come with a blessing. I wish to learn how to remove diseases, even curses someday. Turns, looks toward you each, leaving his side exposed to a degree to the creature, though it doesn't seem to have the reach. Though I suppose it doesn't really matter in the end, does it? To your kind and anyone else above ground, you just see the mask, the monsters, and evil. Correct?
It's a matter of perspective, yes.
You know, there's monsters out there too. You know, there's evil within all of us. You know, all that jibber jabber. You know, like
What's his face?
What was it? Sorry, Mosey?
Yeah, no, I was saying like what's his face? The ex,
Yeah.
got the name.
yeah, he's not a good guy either.
So the doctor starts to move back over to his position beside the altar. And as he keeps his back turned this time, sifting through this powder, your answer.
We held your terms. Give us 1 minute to discuss.
You hear a slight groan, but he seems to acquiesce to some extent.
On one hand, it's a little bit convenient to give him your unstable platter. It solves two problems with two birds in one stone. On the other hand, I'm not really a fan of the platter.
What was that last bit? On the other hand,
I'm too fond of these platter.
mm, I don't know
What did you
really.
say? Mitsuko?
She just kind of raises an eyebrow and just looks with a curious face.
Can she be useful for once? Like,
She just gives you a frown and a stare.
Listen, you called me a toy. What the fuck? We just went over it with the guards. But yeah.
so are we gonna do this tracker thing? Like, I suppose it's you're not gonna get it. It'll be me, Stavros, and Mitsuko. Stavros, what do you think?
it means we're not fighting.
We could also bring Gideon and Lilith here and say they are who were. Yeah,
Do you think they're pretty like clever people? Do you think they could we do have this tracker in us, you know?
there's a language that only me and Gideon can speak. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't have any ability to decipher it.
He has been using technology from Mechanus, so it's entirely plausible.
Well, he doesn't know how to sign, I bet. I don't know either, but
Well, what we can do is just bring Gideon and Lilith here instead of the rest.
what? You want to offer up
Then-
our
No, 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 no! No! And then we jump him! And then we jump him!
Listen here, we have a better deal for you.
I don't want to kill them, I'm mad!
After everything she did for me.
No, just, bring them here so they can help us kill this guy.
Yeah, they seem to know what they're doing. We're probably the worst people to be here, to be honest.
I mean, we might be able to overpower him.
Do you really want to
There is
try?
I don't know. Lava is the big guy. Thought to fight Big Boy. But what do you say?
Are we fighting now? Are we what's happening now?
I'm not up for fighting, but he's
We
gave us an
need to-
offer.
Not chance, but there is a chance.
Hmm?
So,
What was that, Mozzie?
I said a small chance, but there is a chance.
so between you three, it sounds like mostly you don't want to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Then we're going with the tacos.
Oh, God damn it.
So what do you say then?
Fine. We're going with the tacos.
Good. You see, as you say that, he collects a little bit more of the powder in the bowl, scatters it on the ground in front of his feet, throws some in front of him, some scatter back into the bowl, some scatter onto the altar in front of him. Then he turns around, he motions forward with his staff for a moment, and you just hear the little click clacks of the little modrones as they come walking over.
So about this?
So, as they come over, at first they're tiny orb, spherical, little leg, little wing, little handed selves. And then where the eye is, there's this small crack that opens up underneath that, revealing a small containment device of some kind inside. And you notice what looks to be a small, kind of like nail gun almost. And each of them reach in, pick it out of themselves, and the head closes down again, and they kind of just slowly hold up one of their tiny little hands as if to say, give us a hand.
I'll wait for the others to get done first.
Oh, fuck
I'm just-
off.
Away from
Nobody wants
Mitsuko.
to go first.
Mitsuko, seemingly not fully understanding the situation, puts her hand out and kind of shakes its hand, and then immediately just like just below the wrist, it stabs what looks to be a needle's length little needle really. As it pierces through it, you notice it goes in very deep, and then as it
Oh.
retracts back inward, Mitsuko's just suddenly like shaking and like doing little screeches, and then she goes poof, turns into a little fox form.
Huh.
And yeah. And she starts like rolling around on the floor, making little sad fox noises. That one then
Aww.
retreats back. And they both kind of, well, for Severus's case, this thing is incredibly tiny. It's like the size of your boot. So it's kind of like reaching up for you to give a hand down. In your case, Goldie, the creature kind of reaches up to kind of grab at your hand, but it doesn't try anything by force.
Mm.
Are you two offering
Mm.
your hands?
Wanna offer my
Yeah, I guess we have no choice.
So, as you bring your hands down, they, with their little guns, inject very long needles into your wrist, and it stings like a motherfucker. You are both going to take 2 piercing damage,
Okay.
and as it pierces through and retracts, it's like being stung by the world's longest little shit bee. It's a quick, sudden, and sharp pain, and it's so thin that there's not really any blood that comes out. There is a little spurt that comes out for that first second, and as you kind of like grasp your wrist and just like, ah, motherfucker, you kind of notice it doesn't sting. It doesn't hurt so much. You do feel the sting for a little bit though. As they do so, they retreat back, and as they return back to his side, he looks over toward you each, looks to Mitsuko once or twice, then looks to you two. Now that you are tracked, we have an accord. Bring me the 2 I desire. I will know if you move away from where you should be going. You have...
Should be going.
What was that? Sorry, Nosy?
So I don't think we even know where we should be going. But
Yeah.
sure.
Can you kind of give us a tip, like a tip off?
You are being hunted. Make yourself known.
Seems easy enough.
Yeah, just make myself a shooting target. Yep, I get it. Fun.
Another warning before you leave. I know there's a bounty on your head, as I am the one who placed it. If you do not give me the ones you declared before the next day ends, I will have you all drowning in your own filth and blood. I will detonate the trackers, and no manner of magical save you will from what comes out of it. Now don't make me regret our accord. I happen to think you'd make interesting allies, but I can work with you as subjects too. Or I could always send some toys to play with your friends instead. Do not think I cannot hear you either. Now, prattle on somewhere else. Taps the cane on the ground, and the doors behind you open up slowly, just enough for a crack. I have business. Turns their back, and then the Modrones all seem to get back to a semblance of activity.
Don't we need?
Sorry.
We need a boat?
Aha!
I'm just seeing what my spells do,
Vines
okay?
come out of the ground from nowhere.
And they are trapped.
So sorry.
The jealousy of being the one that can't eject them has now rooted.
Guys, is there still a boat? I recall like the boat's gone.
It's gone.
Who wants to tell him?
Mr. What's your name anyway? How should we tell you?
You may simply call me the Doctor for now.
The doctor. Mm-hmm. Can I get a boat?
There is always one waiting for me, regardless of the innocent ones attacking it.
Okay. Are they going to attack us now?
No.
No, okay, good. Well, I guess we're off then.
Time to go.
So as you guys turn, you start making your way over the bridge. The doors behind you close with an eerie, slow creak. The last thing you see behind you is the Doctor holding his hand up above that bowl of ash, and there's this greenish flame that's emitting from his palm that seems to be igniting the ash beneath him into a bright burst of green flame, and then the doors close. You hear what sounds loosely that you can hear like a chant of some kind that he recites aloud, but as the doors fully close, that sound becomes almost muted. Is there anything you guys want to do here, or do you just straight up leave the dungeon?
I'm leaving.
Okay.
I don't know about these guys.
You two leaving as well?
You two is, yeah.
So, as you all head out, you make your way back to the little area where the grates are along the floor across the waterway. You move up the steps, move along the pipe, and the area that looks like it's been recently cleaned, where the three pipes split. Just a quick check for you. What are you guys doing? You sort of know your way back, but the chance of you getting lost is still there.
No.
You, with the knowledge you've accrued to some extent anyway, you know with the split path that the one along the right hand side should lead to Little Town. Going back, you would have to make history checks to make sure you don't get lost. Or you can go to Little Town and try to find your way back above ground.
Which Goldie should be able.
I'm
These
guessing
two, right?
I'm able to navigate.
Above ground easier than
Yeah.
below.
Yeah. I would suggest that, yeah, going up to Little Town.
So, if that is the case, as you guys climb up through the sewers, you each find yourselves quite happily, weirdly, among... At first, it's a climb. You've got to go through the sewer grate. Then there's another leading tunnel that kind of winds, but it's a straight and narrow tunnel that has grating all beneath your feet. You can hear the rushing of the water beneath you, but it seems this was made specific so people could walk around and check the system. As you walk along the pathway, you make a long forward path, and then you turn a left, and then there's a set of ladders, and an opened grate that seems to have been broken. And as you make your way through that grate and head up in, you come into this small, kind of hut-like area that has a slight leftover rancid smell that has been very, very mildly covered with the scent of like lemon and bleach. And you see this goblinoid figure turn around, look at you each and go, "Alright, but who the fuck are you people, and why were you in the sewers?"
Now that we are above ground, I would like to clean myself off with my prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation.
And
Oh, he's a
Can still
fancy
do it.
looking dude.
He's goblin.
oh yeah. And now
Look at him.
try and clean off Goldie,
Oh, thank you.
and then I will try and clean off the fox.
Yep.
Oh, I'm good at this, and then I will clean off everybody.
So just whimsically dancing your hand in the air a couple of times, and all of the
Thank-
muck is made evaporated from you. And you each have this nice, new looking, pristine outfit.
Ooh.
So as this person swivels around, he has what looks to be a small bowl of porridge and a wooden spoon, and he's currently in the process of what seems to be his lunch, and he's just kind of looking at you each, waiting for the answer.
Well, now that I'm clean, I'm Savrus.
No, right? And you two?
Gwen?
Alright, definitely doesn't sound like a fake name you're giving me, but I'll accept it. And, Warforged, you got a name? I'm assuming you're a Warforged. You look fancy, though.
No, but pleasure to meet you. And your name is, as I go to check his line.
My name's Wrath, or Wrathbag. It's an inside joke that my parents apparently wanted to make of me. I'm sort of well, not really curator or anything like that. I sort of tend to the sewers, making sure that at least the main pipe is cleaned. So it's kind of weird when people come crawling out of it. So...
Just so happened that we were, doing a surprise inspection of the sewers.
Alright.
Yes,
No.
sewers are, nothing worse, nothing worse.
Right. Make a deception check.
Deception?
Deception!
Deception. Yeah.
Oh, well, alright then. I'll just pretend that's why you're armed to the teeth, and also apparently capable of doing weird magic, and, didn't warn me in advance. That's fine, I guess. I really don't fucking care. As long as there's not some shit down there, splash all over my walls. I cleaned it literally yesterday.
No, don't worry. We didn't splash any shit on the wall. I'm incapable of doing it anyway.
Well, that's true. Well, I'm pretty sure you probably don't need to be here talking to me. So, door's right there. help yourself to leave. I'm going to eat my porridge. Stick around and talk if you want. But I'm on my break. So he raises up his little bowl of porridge and just kind of gives you a nod. Starts to...
Mm-hmm. Shall we take our leave then? Shall we take our leave then?
Yeah. Nice meeting ya. I think we should go.
Yes, we should. We should.
So as you push the door open to your side and
No.
you all begin to walk out. As you look around, you have found, of course, Littletown, known specifically for the fact that it is a small community, which once was a hive of, like, not exactly bandits, but local gangs. The place, since it's part of Lowtown, it was always kind of run down, and it was one of the places that was most just coveted by gangs and gang violence, until they finally brought a couple of guards down here to clear the place out, and a couple of cleaning crews, and one by one they slowly made it one of the places that they reclaimed and made decent in Lowtown. While it's still in the poorer aspect and fitting of Lowtown, it at the very least is livable and protected, and is a pseudo area for guards to come and just relax here and there. There is a guardhouse, and it is run by this fellow, Thorin Gulbrand.
Ooh.
He is a gold dragonborn boy. He's very... He's not lenient when it comes to people breaking the law, but he's very good with protecting people when he needs to. And he's always been kind to the young and old alike. But he's kind of bad with people, often. Mostly because of his sheer size and build. He comes off as, like, big and brutish, and it kind of puts people off sometimes, and he's not very good with his words, and will be very loud and overcoming, but he is a good person, in spirit, at the very least. And he is currently sat in front of what looks to be a statue that has been crafted and placed atop what used to be monument to old small town, where the gangs would throw assorted crap onto the tree and use it to hang symbols and even people sometimes off of. Now they're using it as a symbol of change and have mounted a Pegasus on top.
Oh.
Welcome to Littletown. Mostly a farming area.
Nice. Yeah.
Or at least, you know, a general place where they bring back and forth supplies. Feel free to make yourselves known, or if you want, you can continue straight back to the others.
Shall we head straight back?
I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah, we're kind of on a time limit.
Okay. So, as you each make your way towards the exit of Littletown, it is a sort of gated community. There are gates outside of the perimeter that block any normal entry anyway. People can still jump over, that's not the real problem. But they're doing it for the symbolism of it. As you walk out the main gate, which itself is just an open space, you just walk free. A couple of guards kind of like look at you as you're walking out, and you kind of hear them muttering to themselves if they've seen you come in before. They don't make a big deal of it, but you take note that they at the very least seem to have paid attention. As you guide the others through Lowtown, back toward the dockyards, and then take as much of a shortcut as you can find back to the same guardhouse that you left the others at, or that they are currently at anyway. It comes around to about 9 in the afternoon by the time you actually get anywhere close, as town is bustling and you guys have been out for a while, and you see that there are a couple of people in the streets having these little stalls and markets just before the guardhouse. If there is anything like small that you guys want to buy, then feel free now.
Pen and paper.
Easy enough. It will be a copper piece per parchment sheet.
Okay, I'll take 5.
Okay.
What kind of stalls are there?
There's an assortment. It's mostly basic stuff. There's a leather worker that has assortments of small. There is what looks to be a piece of leather armor that's on display as well, but mostly it seems to be like bags and small accessories, and other places have cured meats. Others have little small gems that look like they are for, like adorning oneself with, but they're not costly by any means.
It's an artisan market.
Yeah, boy. Artisanals.
Is there any place selling perfumes and soaps and other things like that?
You and the theme of soap. There's one.
No, I wasn't meaning it. Yeah,
No, I know.
No,
There's one.
personal products. That's what I'm after right now.
Yes. There is one little stall that's occupied by 2 young ladies who look to be twins. They are both an elven descent, with the lovely pokedy ears, wondrous complexions, and they are currently wearing these, what look to be like dresses along the bottom, but these very tight and perfectly fit outfits, in general speaking, along the top. Their hair's pulled back into a bun, and they have what look to be little soaps, little baubles. They have the equivalent to bath bombs, which look kind of like pink candies for the most part, like chunky big candies. And they do have a small bottle or 2, but nothing massive per se.
Cool. That's going to catch Savras's eye because there's elves and he has a thing for elves. So he's going to... If, as a group, we decided we were just going to walk past everything, he's going to linger and then fall back and leave the group, essentially, to go and check this stall out and flirt a little bit with them and check out the perfumes and buy some perfume from them.
Okay. There's one, they've got 3 in total. There's one that has a lavender smell, another that has a very, like summer grass kind of smell that's very gentle, but as you kind of like ask if you can spritz a little, and they just go, yeah. You give a little spray, and you kind of let it waft for a second, and kind of smell it, and it's not an alluring scent, but it's definitely a very gentle and soothing one. And then there's another one that's basically just a cinnamon scent. As for...
Don't like that. Going for the summer grass.
Yeah. So that will be 4 silver. The bottle itself has 10 uses, and it will last 12 hours per use.
Cool.
Is there any other items that you require among the table? Any lovely soaps or any bath bombs?
He's gonna look at them, and then after smelling the perfume that he's now purchased, he's gonna decide that he does not need any soap because the perfume is good enough for now.
Mm. Okay.
He's gonna flirt a little bit with them though, because that's what you do.
Oh yes, you fill up with the stuff.
Yeah.
What are you two doing, Scrap and Goldie? As you are walking along the market's kind of looking around for a moment, and then you kind of look to your left and notice there's a giant space that's missing, also known as Saphras.
We don't have time for this. Oh, should we go and get him?
Yes, I think we should.
Yeah.
Let's just drag him.
We're just dragging him along.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of look around for a moment. You notice he's currently like resting by a table with two elves that are very, very gorgeous, and you just kind of mutter just and sigh, and as you walk over, kind of do the like grab by the ear thing, and just start pulling him along. The girls are just like giggling as you're dragged away. If you want to do any contested checks or anything, then let me know now.
No, I'm not fighting against them when I realise who it is, but I just go, no,
No,
look at
beautiful
them,
girls,
they're
no.
so cute, they're so beautiful. Oh no!
Come on, big boy. You can get your dick wet later.
And as you're
And then they dragged out of sight.
as you're dragged away and you go past a beam leading to the next part of the market, they are disappearing out of view. As you guys turn that corner and you just kind of give yourself into the lull and start moving on, you guys start walking through a couple of stalls, just looking. None of it really catches your eye. It's like small trinkets and the like. And there's even a elderly woman selling like raw like meats, raw creatures like chickens. There's even what looks to be like a very small pig. As you're walking along, you see as you're walking forward, there's a small bit of crowd, and they're blocking your path for a second. And as they push along and kind of move around you, and you around them, you see a Lauren in amongst one of those stalls, and he's currently looking at what looks to be small gems. There's a couple of what looks to be like very tiny, like marble-sized gems that are quite obviously more for a "ooh, it's a shiny thing" value more than a "it's worth something" value. And he sees like palming a couple of them, kind of just like shaking them around in his hands, looking at them, and then passes a couple of coin over and just pockets them. Is there any attempt to make yourself known, or do you carry on, or?
Well, I carry on.
With who?
A Lauren, the one you had a bang with.
Yeah, I know that. Saphras it's just another face in the crowd.
Oh.
So then, as you each continue on through the crowd, he seems to chat with the clerk for a moment, and as you walk by, there is seemingly no notice on either side, and you pass each other ever so casually. And as you continue through the crowd, through the market, you find your way, finally, toward the same street that the guardhouse is on. You see a couple of guards wandering the streets, a couple of people coming out of the guardhouse with what looks to be a sweat along their brow and a white coat, as the words, a white coat underneath the arm. They walk over the road toward what looks to be some kind of hotel of some kind. What do you guys want to do?
You just walked across the road, the guards.
A couple of guards are walking across the streets, but it looks like someone came out of the guardhouse wearing a white coat, and they're walking across the road to one of the hotels. They looked to be in something of a little bit of a sweat, and they looked kind of, at the very base of it, intelligent at the very least, and they've just come from the guardhouse, where you've been told your allies currently are working on that baddie. So the assumption is, at the moment anyway, either they're still in there working on it, or everything's just finished and they're letting everyone leave for the day.
Well, that's what I was trying to piece together the timeline, because because Gideon went to the hotel last session to sleep. So we've done all this during that time. Cool. Yeah, I guess. Well, Lilith was saying that she wasn't going to leave the guardhouse thing, so I'm going to make my way there, because Lilith is the connection to the group. I don't know why she left me with these two.
Oh, the trouble you got into.
Hey.
So, as you walk inside, you notice the guardhouse from that, for the most part at the moment, is mostly empty. There are a couple of guards chatting in the corner. One's sat by what looks to be like a service kiosk of some kind. And there are stairs at the far left side. You can see down a 10-foot corridor. And you kind of look around. Do you ask anyone for help, or do you kind of just help yourself?
That's going to depend on the other two.
We can go in and we can. I don't know. I can go look for Gideon. I don't really mind. Seems like we still have time. Okay.
Meanwhile, somewhere, someone has his feet in a lovely little bubble bath. A shrimp
God, someone's having a great time.
A shrimp still hanging out of his mouth, and the best sleep he's ever fucking had.
Okay.
You've been hearing from ages away.
What snores like a drunken dwarf.
I'll be right back quick.
Yeah.
Well,
You guys are fucked.
it's fine. It's fine. I have a plan.
We-
We're giving up my ex.
The second you were like, yeah, let's take the tracker, I was like,
Listen, I don't think we could have actually fought it. Not gonna lie, I don't think we could have
probably
won.
not. No, that
Yeah.
was a tricky situation.
I was there like, I don't want the tracker.
Hey,
But I
not
don't
gonna
wanna
lie,
be
though, which one of
dead.
you motherfuckers said, oh yeah, let's bring our friends down here? I was like, what? Excuse me?
I
No.
didn't say it.
Okay, hold on.
Fucking tracker.
I have a perfectly good explanation. Okay, because
Juicy bait.
Oh, yes.
Called sell out your
bait. No.
Yeah, you for free, you bastard.
Can I
Tracker in my
explain?
fucking hand.
Can I explain myself?
No.
You feel like the damage is done.
Or you just gonna crucify me?
Yep.
Less
Well,
fun.
So, while we leave you laying on that cross, what are you guys doing?
I'm pretending to sleep in the lab.
I'm asleep with my feet in a bubble
Not
bath
creepy.
and a beer. Like a scotch on the rocks, just half drunk next to me on the table. Gone.
Wow.
Gideon's gone in his room. That man enjoyed everything. I had a warm dressing gown put on me. I twirled my mustache. I've had a nice bubble bath. That motherfucker's washing my overalls. I had a nice scotch on the rocks. Now I'm asleep. Gideon is gone.
He's just like, oh.
Anyone that wakes him up is Satan right now. As you are.
Yeah, just a warning, you're Satan. He will kill you. So yeah, who's going, talking to someone, going upstairs, whatever the case? Because as of the moment, you don't technically know where they are.
Oh, as a slight retcon, I imagine I would have told Lilith where I'm going to sleep.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you would have told her
Cool,
that much.
right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Alright, cool, that's fine. As long as somebody knows where the fuck I am.
No, you just
As you-
disappear off the face of the earth. It's fine.
He promised me warm towels and whiskey. I was never taught stranger danger.
That's how they
Papa
get
never
you.
told me this.
They
He
bait
said if they offer candy, it's a no-no. They never mentioned whiskey.
and warm towels.
Anyway, as you were.
I guess we asked someone. That's what Goldie would do, rather than just walking straight in.
Cool.
Okay. So, what do you say specifically?
Ha.
All right.
Good start.
The guard
Hello.
kind of just stares. Can I help you with
That was
something?
just so blunt.
Huh?
What do you say? Howdy.
Well, howdy.
No other words.
Just walk straight back
Hi.
out.
Handy and a big shit-eating grin.
So you're back in my home country. That was enough to get an opportunity to go on with somebody.
Just imagine you even dipping your head down, flicking your hat up. Handy.
Well, I believe my friends were working in the lab or something here.
Yeah. I heard something about that. I think I don't really know who your friends are, but there were a couple of people who went over the road to the hotel. You might want to I don't know, go there. I don't know if there's anyone else upstairs.
Well, they go by the names Lilith and Gideon.
Oh.
Ring any bells?
He just kind of does that kind of stomped face and just
You know,
shrugs.
Mustache guy, lady with a very big bonnet on.
So true.
No,
Uh,
nothing.
No, I only came on duty about 2 hours ago, so I'm not really seen any of them.
She said she wasn't leaving. Go check, please.
He,
They give him the eyes, beautiful eyes.
he kind of just looks around the room, raises an eyebrow and looks up at you and goes, alright. Don't really have anything better to do at the moment, sure. He pushes himself up out of his chair, turns around, walks toward the corridor, goes up the steps, moves his way towards the door, knocks very gently, and Lilith, in the middle of your teeny weeny slumber, you hear a gentle clock, clock.
Am I the only one in here?
You've got Lucius with you too.
I'm living. I'm sticking with the pretend sleep. Gotta do what the guy said, or he'll kick me out the lab.
She's
I'm
committed to the
pretending.
bit. She's
I'm
committed to the
pretending
bit.
to be. I'm pretending to be a sleep needer.
A sleep neither. I've never felt more mortal in my life.
He,
Fine peasant mortals needing a rest.
he kind of looks inside the lab through the window and just kind of shrugs. Walks back downstairs, looks at you lot as he walks out the door and just he shrugs to you and goes, "No, I don't know. Doesn't look like there's anyone in."
There's literally two of us in the room. Is this guard blind?
I literally said she had a massive hat. Like,
Maybe the hat obscured the vision of her. Oh my god. Conspiracies! Yeah.
I think this is just a very shit guard.
oh.
What are you being paid for, man?
Who knows? Is there, do you want me to... I mean, like I said, they could be over the road. I could take a message when they come back.
Can we not go up with you? You know, to the lab, just in case.
He just kind of looks up and thinks about that for a second. Then he kind of looks around the room and goes, yeah, I guess. I mean, there is and isn't a bit of legal stuff about that, but I guess as long as I'm with you. Turns around, walks toward the corridor, leading you guys toward it. Walks up the steps toward the door. Kind of like gently knocks for a second. Do you react at all, Rachel?
Does what's his face react?
No, he's just fucking KO'd.
Well, if he's asleep, then I'm going to get up because I don't care. I was only pretending to be asleep so no one noticed. But if he's asleep, I'm 100% getting up.
Okay. So as you get up and kind of just like do a pretend stretch and just like, oh, definitely awake now. Oh.
I just say yawn. I don't even yawn. I say
Yawn.
Meow.
Really selling it. Really selling it.
And
I'll go to the door.
he looks over at you and just kind of does a little wave and has that kind of look of dumbfoundedness. And as you open up the door, he looks at you and kind of moves aside a little bit enough for you to see the others and goes, I've got some friends of yours here?
Yes.
I'm just gonna let you. Yep. Turns around, walks back out, goes back down the stairs.
I guess I'll just push the door open so they can come in.
So immediately as you guys start to walk in, there is a whiff of assorted scents. There's enough of the smell of like heavy lemon and bleach to vaguely mask the smell of death and decay and blood, but you're getting hit very heavy with both. And for a moment, at the very least, of course, Mosey's a different story, but for you two anyway, you have to either pinch your nose and close your eyes or deal with it because it is strong and it's getting into your skin almost.
Oh, God.
Would you prefer us to go somewhere else?
Is Gideon around here?
Gideon has gone to have a sleep.
Well,
Then let's go get him.
Yeah.
This is. And then I'm going to pull out the perfume and give myself a spritz.
he's like one of those girls in secondary school that just gets the spray out their bag.
He'll
Savras,
smell
why-
me and then he'll help. Let's have fun.
Why do you smell like a garden, Savras?
It smells good.
What is the appeal of this? I see no issue with the smell of this room. It is the smell of learning.
The combined stink of death, decay, and sweat.
Death, decay, and learning.
Physical education, right there.
Well,
It's just not very appealing.
Are you saying that I too should spray garden smell on myself?
I want to lean in towards her and take a whiff.
Oh, I 100% think I've been there with my
Yeah.
elbows in a dead body for like 4 hours.
She's
I want to see how bad.
she's got what looks to be little spatterings of blood on clothes here and there. Not like bad. She keeps herself a degree clean, but there are some spaces that you notice are very like minute that she's not missed intentionally, but are just there. And as you kind of lean forward, have a little bit of a whiff. Yeah, very quickly there's the stink of viscera and gore.
I immediately stand bolt upright and do the wafting of the hand in front of my face and the pinching of the nose. Like,
Savra, you're so
With-
dramatic.
and then with my other hand, I'm going to dictate a decent smell onto Lilith. One that she will find offensive and dislikable.
Oh, why do I smell like baby powder? Why would you do that? What the
Smells
fuck,
clean now.
Savras?
It smells clean now.
now that smells like learning, you know?
Oh, my baby,
Learning
baby back,
smell
baby
good.
baby back, babes.
Oh well, no, beep it back, beep it back. Anyway,
Beep, 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 beep,
What?
beep.
What? Why are you here? Did you find the crazy man?
In the sewer.
Don't tell it. You know, I think we should get Gideon. Like, we have some things
uh,
there.
Lilith, make a
Okay.
perception check.
Oh, okay.
Each of them, except for Scrap, have an injection site in their left hands.
I'm going to immediately grab Savras on the hand and say, "What is this?"
I'm going to quickly signal Lilith with like a finger in front of my face, like shh.
We did drugs.
No, I didn't.
Yes, we did.
What? What?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Lilith,
I
Lilith,
asked
let,
for consent.
Lilith, let's go for a walk.
Oh, let me just kick this Nimrod awake. I'm going to gently kick the other scientist and say, "I am going. I'll be back later."
Okay, as you kind of give a little boop, he shakes awake very quickly with a burst of energy, just like, I'm not. Oh, okay.
For God's sake, go and sleep in the bed.
Oh, I mean, I guess I
The
should.
floor is not suitable place to sleep. Sleep on my chair. Go, go.
Just kind of nods, stands up.
Yes, mother.
Yeah. So as you four wander out of the lab, you head out into the guards station. You then head, I'm assuming, outside to the main street. Is there?
The whole time I'm looking at Savras's injection site the whole time.
It is a. I mean, as many as you've seen anyway, it's as perfect as what you've come to know as the injection sites.
What the fuck did you
Okay.
do?
I'm going to hold on.
I don't think we should talk about this right now.
I'm going to scribble on a piece of parchment and write. We found a guy, got into some shit. They have trackers on them.
What do you mean you've
Be
been
quiet.
drugs?
What?
I said drugs are bad for you, Savras.
What?
I can look beyond promiscuous sex, but drugs is another thing entirely.
No, no, no.
Denial is the first stage. It's okay.
It's okay, Stavros. We all love you. We all care for you. You too, Goldie.
And
Just
in
looking
the
at
in the
Lilith in total disbelief that
In the-
leaving these two.
in the name of science, I am interested in looking at your blood sample. So I may need to also stab you to receive blood. Yes? I'm just gonna look at Scrap like I'm doing this right, huh? I'm doing good.
This is a human conversation. Yes.
I just give a single thumb up, like, yeah, sure.
Let's go and find
Anyway,
Gideon. I think
yes,
Gideon
that's a
too
good
would
idea.
like to take a blood sample from all of you.
Yes, especially the robot. Give me your oil.
Especially an oil sample from the
Mhm.
robot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Come, let us go get the not robot man.
So as you walk over to the hotel, you walk in and the manager, the server, whichever he is, with the beautiful moustache, standing behind main reception desk, watches as you walk in. He kind of looks over each of you, and you notice as he makes a wafting motion toward himself, and there's a moment where he closes his eyes and just smells, and then looks back again with a face of seriousness, but a very gentle, small smile. What might I do for each of you?
We need the mustache man.
Ah, the gentleman in room 1. Might I take a name? I believe the gentleman is asleep.
His name is Gideon.
Yours, madam.
What do you need my name? I'm not in the room.
God damn it, that's so fucking aggressive. No, it is to pass on to the gentleman, just in case you might not require his attention as of this moment.
I
Oh,
require
but
his
we
attention
do.
right this moment.
Oh yeah.
This is his wife. I'm gonna point at Goldie.
Make a deception
Yeah.
check.
Oh shit!
Let me do it.
Definitely his wife.
I'd be like, yeah, I'm his
Mm.
wife.
Madam, I...
For the sheer banter of it, I'm gonna give you my inspiration.
Nah, do it. Do it. Advantage.
I mean, it's not much better, let's be
No.
honest.
Why?
Madam, I can't help but notice a lack of a ring on gentlemen's finger and ladies.
You see, they both have a lot of problems with drugs, and they both sold their rings. That's why they're separated at the moment. But you know, they want a reunion, and she's hoping that he will
Well,
take
you
her back.
see, like I'm pregnant, and he doesn't know that yet, so he needs to know right now.
It's very important. I am the midwife.
Goldie, make a deception check. Because that's a fucking big lie.
What in the fuck is going on here?
Oh my god.
He kind of looks you up and down, and there is that moment where you can kind of see on his face that it's a belief, but he keeps composure. He goes, while that may be true, madam, I ask you each remain here for a moment. Turns to his left, looks toward what looks to be a general like dining area, and makes a small hand motion for someone to come over, and a orc fellow dressed in like suit and tie, what looks to be a bouncer, walks in, steps in front of the door to the general bar area, looks over toward you each, his eyes very narrowed. It seems to be just his natural way. Looks towards the tender, just kind of gives him a small nod. The server, the tender, then walks up the first flight of steps, slowly.
Is it walking when I say, tell him his wife Goldie is here? She misses him!
And the steps are no longer heard as he reaches the floor. So, Gideon, you are sleeping so very soundly, so make a perception check with disadvantage.
100%.
Not to mention, this guy has the entire time and intends to keep on being as quiet as a mouse to keep you from being distracted. Yep.
0.
Aww.
Yep.
I rolled a 0.
So there is a knock on your door, but you are so deep in the perfect
Oh yeah,
slumber.
I'm loving life.
At some point, of course, you are so swaddled and just in bliss. You didn't notice that the bed started doing this very low, gentle vibration as well, and it's just so good for the very body and soul. And you're just there, just completely KO'd. You are having the best fucking dream. You are in full control of it as well.
Oh, it's a lucid dream.
Oh yes.
Cool.
Oh my god.
The server
Down.
comes back down. As he reaches the step, he looks toward you all and goes, "Sir is rather lost in his sleep. And as such, it is my duty to not awaken him for any manner of reason. You will have to either purchase a
kidding
room
me?
and wait, or you may come back in the morrow."
Listen, like,
Man,
I just found this out. Like, my doctor
Ah.
here just told me. And I need to know. We need to have discussions.
I love this.
What the hell is going on?
I'm gonna turn to the so Fox Lady's a fox right now, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna look at her and look at the stairs, and then look at her and look at the stairs, and hope that she understands what I'm telling her to do.
Let's find out, shall we? Hold on. Party allies, Mitsuko. Let's get a general intelligence. Why is it not revealed? That's weird. She got a 7. Oh, that's why. So she kind of just like tilts her head, looks toward the stairs as if there's like this big secret, and she's like staring at it. She points her nose forward, looking at it, and she's like just like really, really staring, looking for this secret thing you're pointing at. Now then,
I'm gonna.
if that would be all.
Can I summon my familiar behind him where he can't see her?
Is there any verbal component or like gestures to find familiar?
I think there is if she's dead, but she wasn't dead.
To my knowledge, with Find Familiar, it works with the actual components when you're casting spells to conjure. Bless you.
Thank you.
Conjure the actual familiar, but as it says, when you have the familiar, you can just pop them in and out of like a pocket dimension.
Yeah, because I've already got her up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she's been summoned.
Yep, you entirely can.
Okay, I'm gonna drop her on the stairs behind him,
Mhm.
and she understands what I want her to do.
So, as Jinx appears in a little pff, fucking flies. As Jinx appears with a little pff of beautiful little smoke, you feel, or Cyrus feels anyway, all of a sudden as Mitsuko on your back is suddenly just like very alert, and she looks down at Lilith and starts pawing in the air toward Lilith to try and get your attention to note that Jinx is there, and she sees what you're seeing now, and she's like very, very like hyper to the fact.
Sir, do you happen to know where the best maternity hospital is around here? We're going to need one in approximately 6 months, but you know, just wondering if you happen to know,
Make
so
a
we can get her booked in nice and early.
make a stealth check with Jinx, and there will be a slightly lesser DC because you are trying to distract.
Oh shit. I mean, it was either asking about a hospital or asking for some of his blood, and I thought the second one is probably
Ooh.
more.
Okay, so as Jinx appears in the little plume, and she kind of makes that kind of like mental confirmation to you, and starts to slowly, gently, gingerly make her way up the steps. As you're asking, he kind of looks at you with that slight raised eyebrow and goes, "Madam, if you are a doctor, surely you would know.
I'm not from here. Can you not tell from the accent?
Then, might I ask why
I was brought
you..."
here. I found out that my good friend Goldie was pregnant,
Mhm.
and I came to help her. I'm from Gustodden.
You would...
That sounded Welsh. Sorry.
From Gustodden?
I'm from Gustodden.
Hmm.
I'm only here on business. Well,
Well,
actually, I'm on here on scientific business, and you could really help me if you're willing to do a blood sample.
I'm afraid I'm not willing to partake at this current moment in time,
But would you be interested in the future?
Madam, I must ask you either to book a room and end this line of questioning, or leave and end this line of questioning.
Okay, let me count my money and see if I have enough.
Make a history check, by the way, as your little kitten makes her way to the top of the stairs. She looks around, notices the left side, walks up toward the door, and kind of starts like scratching at the door. Gideon, make another perception check with disadvantage.
No.
Okay, so with a 9, you feel like there's something that can get you.
That's another 0.
Oh my god, he is so
My
fucking KO'd.
God.
I'm gold.
He better get temporary hit points for this fucking sleep. Come on.
He could be stabbed and he would
Hey,
not wake.
think about it, bro. I'm now having a lucid dream after a lot of whiskey, a cigar, a bubble bath, a nice warm. I'm in a good place right
Mm.
now.
He's gonna be
And
very
you all
happy.
you all want to ruin it.
Leave good place.
Very
You are
good
needed.
Yeah.
That ain't my baby. I'll go on. Don't worry, I don't give a fuck, bitch. I'll have him read out the card. You are not the father. You can run around the whole TV set. That ain't my baby.
But yeah, there's just something about the situation right now, Lilith, that you feel you have a get out of jail free card for this entire situation, but you can't think of what it is.
Oh,
You've
wait, wait. I have a room here already.
You do?
I forgot. I completely. I'm so sorry. It took me looking at my money to remember because I don't like to spend it. The guard man. What the fuck was his name? 1 second. Where the fuck is my notebook? Shit. I didn't take his name down. I was more interested in the blood. Oh shit. The guard captain with the mustache. He told us to come here. Gideon came early. I was meant to come too, but well, honestly, I was elbow deep in a corpse. But that's a story for another time.
You see the big orc kind of looks over at you with that sort of nose turned down and a little bit of confusion.
You've never been elbow deep in a corpse? Are you even living? Anyway, I have a room here. I was told to come over here and say the name of the guard captain, but I forgot his name because he was talking to me when I was doing blood samples, and everyone knows not to do that. I was very busy.
Madam, even if your story is true, first and foremost, you didn't need to put on the show. Secondly,
It's
were...
not a show.
Listen, I'm actually pregnant.
She actually is pregnant. It's been a very difficult, long day. Did you not hear me? I was elbow deep in a corpse.
Not good for the baby.
Well,
I deal in science, not people, and I made mistakes. But
How convincing is Goldie? Like, she's
not
convincing
good for
me
the
now
baby.
that she's got a baby.
I mean, he seems to believe to an extent. Well, either you bring to me the captain in question, or you
What if I
designate
bring
his name.
Lucius? What about
Whom?
Lucius? Does Lucius count?
I know not of who you speak, madam.
God damn it!
Bring the captain here, or speak his name as is
Oh, no.
designated by the contract that
Oh,
we signed with him.
I'm sorry, I'm getting a very bad headache. I'm gonna use my. I'm gonna use.
How much would a room cost for one night?
This is so dramatic.
To use
think
I want to
Captured by
use.
the big bad evil guy or something.
Oh my god,
I'm
she's
actually
gonna
just sleeping.
faint.
I want.
The God.
Madam, walking around the sewers with us?
I'm just having a nap, bro, and everything's acting like I'm
I want
captured by the big bad evil.
Oh god damn! I can't even use my B sense because I can't touch Jinx. I'm just gonna say, oh, okay, give me 1 minute. I'll go and find his name. But can you at least let the pregnant lady stay here, whilst I get the name of the mustached man who I made a bloody job contract with?
She may stay in the foyer or the dining
Good.
area.
She is with child. She needs to be somewhere warm and
Give
safe.
it. I just need somewhere to lie down for a couple of
It
hours.
would be very convenient if she could lie with her husband, but I suppose you won't let that happen.
Madam, we have a very strict policy of care. We cannot just allow anyone to wander in.
But she
not
has
anyone.
she has 2 lives in her, so surely she outnumbers the one that is him. Anyway, I will go I will go and find.
Why are people saying I'm just trying to sleep?
He's just trying to sleep.
Wake up!
And Jinx is just there, like, scratching at the door loudly, and you're just there, like,
I will
Can't
go.
probably hear me snoring.
I will go and try and find the the guard captain, and I'm gonna look at the fox like, just fucking do something. And I'm gonna walk back across the road and just ask Lucius, what the fuck is the name of this stupid guard captain? Because I've already forgotten.
So as,
Hammer Smith, right?
yeah, as you head over, he goes, wait, oh, you mean Edrisham?
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
And walk straight back in the room and just be like, Ederson! Give me my room.
Quick thing, Lee, how'd you spell that?
Edryshan.
Shan. Thank you.
Yeah.
Room, please.
He
I told you.
sighs very deeply.
Can't believe you would keep a man from his wife.
As I said, madam, we have a strict policy of care. Well,
Biologically speaking, there is a biological responsibility for a father to be near his child, so really, you're fighting the human laws of nature. But you know, that's okay. Where do I sleep?
he, with what you feel for a moment is a slight bit of begrudging, pulls out a key for what seems to be dangling this little tassel that says 2 on it, and he holds it forward. If madam and entourage, I assume.
Yes, we are going to sleep in a cuddle puddle. So the rage in Gestoden.
Wonderful. If you would all follow me. Slowly makes his way up the steps. What are you doing with Jinx?
Run!
Jinx, run!
The corridor itself is one way. At half of the way you have the stairs, and then on the other half you have more rooms, and then you have stairs going up to the next floor.
Go upstairs, Jinx. Oh wait, I don't know that because
You haven't looked.
I can't do anything because I can't do anything right now.
So, as he starts walking up the steps, yeah, Jinx is currently like scratching at the door trying to get his attention. Gideon, just for the fun of it, make another check, and I hope you get another 0 because it
I
works
fucking hope I get
so
another
well.
0. Disadvantage yet?
Yep.
Perception.
Oh my
Oh
god! It's another fucking 0.
That one.
Oh god.
Kidding me.
God. I'm unconscious.
My
You
God.
could put me in a certified medical coma
Medical
right
coma.
now. I'm gone.
So, as they walk up the steps, little Jinx hears the steps and stops scratching and kind of huddles into a corner and hopes for the best. Make a stealth check with Jinx.
Oh no.
At
Hey,
disadvantage as well.
Because I've done 3 nat ones, these motherfuckers could probably hear me snoring
Oh,
through the
yeah.
door.
It's audible.
Oh, Jinxie.
She kind of like huddles into a corner, and as he takes the final step and kind of looks around, there's that small second where his head turns and he sees Jinx in the corner of his eye, and he immediately becomes alert to it and looks.
As soon as I see her, I'm gonna make her disappear.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check. Actually, no, wait, sorry. Make a spellcasting ability check, which for you would be wisdom. Okay. I'm gonna do a perception with him. Oh, you're fucked!
No.
So as he turns and he sees it, he stares at it for a moment, and he makes this sudden, like, loud whistle, but in that same second, Jinx goes poof! And you hear the stomping of feet as the orc comes charging up the steps. He moves around you guys, slightly, like, gingerly not to hit any of you, and he stops, and as he steps in front of you each, the server goes, "There is a creature running around. Check the floors." And then the orc just kind of like nods and rushes around looking, goes up the stairs. And then you see as he turns around very slowly and looks over each of you.
You have an infestation? That is not very fortuitous.
He stares. Oh my god!
Oh.
Double 20s!
So, it's nice having a campaign with you. Good luck, Lilith. Godspeed.
He looks over at you, and it's almost like this perfect instinct. I better not see the creature again, or your stay here will be void. Are we
Okay.
clear, madam?
Claire?
He raises his head a little, does a slow nod, stares for a moment more, turns around, opens up your door, pushes it open, dangles the key for you to take as you walk toward the door with that sort of, oh fuck. Lets you take the key, waits for you each to walk in. And then as he walks in, after you, first, it is customary to ask, for the one who possesses the room only, would there be anything you need cleansed before the morn?
I'll look at Savras and say, I need my extra large clothing cleaned, please.
He just stares with that kind of don't push your luck.
Please, I don't care about the smell, but he gets so fussy. I mean, smell him. He smells like a garden. He chose to smell like a garden.
Madam,
Why? Okay, just clean my lab coat, please.
he nods.
Oh, actually, no, don't do that. It has viscera on it. I don't think that would be very hygienic.
Madam, it is, how should I put it delicately, the least of the problems I've had working here.
Do I need anything? Oh, yes. You may clean my normal clothes, because we are inside, so I can take off most of my clothes without sunburn.
Of course. Walks over. As you get changed quickly into like basic clothes and pass over in like a bundle to him, he takes it all.
Just be careful of the hat, please. Be very careful of the hat. It is a family heirloom.
I will have it pressed and puffed out for you.
Oh, thank you.
And as he's leaving, you see just as he's about to close the door, using his foot, pulling it along, he takes a long stare at each of you that don't own a room. And you feel that sense of, I'm watching you, but also, I'm keeping a distance from you weirdos. And then as he is about to close the door and move away, he goes, as well, as part of possessing a room, you may interact with other members. Though, if they do not answer after the first knock, I ask, you do not attempt the second.
Okay. Understood.
And then he closes the door behind him and walks away. You hear the steps going down the stairs slowly. You then also hear the sounds of poof, 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 big footsteps as the orc is like still chasing around trying to find the critter.
You heard him. We may only knock once. Each.
I knew you were going to take that way.
Hey.
I'll go and I will knock on the door and I'll say, Gideon, your wife is here.
Make a perception check with disadvantage. Given how many zeros he's got, he is not doing anything but.
10.
That's
That's
not
better than
bad.
average. A lot better than average.
You are slightly roused. Your dreams come to a weird, like, crashing moment where you lose the lucidity as you wake up for a split second, and then you just
Straight back.
I've done my try. Someone else try. We're going back in the room.
Are we in the room adjacent to him?
Yeah.
Can I just stand near the wall and blast something?
Yes.
Let's have a party.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
are the worst guests ever.
So
I liked this place. This is
with
I am actually gonna have to formally apologize.
yes,
You've got a lot of apologizing to do, you womanizer.
with your
You think I fucked that country bumpkin?
Whoa.
Hey.
You shot me with a gun in the first round of fighting with you.
I did?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, you shot her with a gun, so it's pretty fair.
That's not what I call it.
So as you place your boombox toward the wall, and just suddenly this vibration of sound. Gideon, make another perception check, still with a disadvantage, but lower
This
DC.
is a good bet.
Oh.
Oh my god.
So,
Oh my god.
Gideon, there is this sudden change in the vibration of the bed that's been gently vibrating around, and after that first moment where you're kicked out of your lucid dreaming, you suddenly kind of open up your eyes and you look around for a moment. The cigar in your mouth that has long since like dulled kind of falls out, and you kind of look around for a moment. You have this weird like thrumming in your ear. You kind of like rub your ear for a second, and then you just kind of roll back over.
Oh my god. Turn it up louder, Scrap.
Louder.
Okay. So
You know what? I'll do one. Wait for 3 seconds and do another one.
you notice as you're doing that,
Morse fucking code with a boom.
a little bit of the wall's wallpaper shreds, and the sound goes through. This time, make a perception check at normal.
Normal perception. Where are we? There we go.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So this
Thank
time
you.
you are woken up with quite a sore ear, and you just kind of like squeezing your ear, just like, oh, what the fuck was that? You turn around, look toward the wall, and you can see one of the mirrors in the little bathroom has shattered.
Ah, fuck.
I am going to stand up,
Mm-hmm.
go for fuck's sake, relight my cigar, take a big old fucking puff of that shit.
And since they don't technically know you're awake yet, another boom comes through. And
As he's still like holding the cigar in one hand, he's using his forefinger and his thumb just to kind of hold his temples, like, for fuck's sake.
as the boom comes through, and you're holding your cigar for a moment, that boom, there's enough of a wave for it to physically douse your cig. Like, it blows off the top of it that's lit.
Just so they know I'm awake, Gideon's gonna walk to the room and just knock on the wall to basically say, I'm awake, shut the fuck up.
So, after a couple of seconds, another small boom, and then you guys hear a knock on the door. What do you guys do?
Oh, knock on the wall, I'm still in my room.
Oh, okay. So you, like, begrudgingly just, like, knock, knock, knock.
Yeah, knock on the wall. I'll walk over to I'll relight the cigar again.
Mm-hmm.
Walk over to the shattered mirror, and I'm gonna use mending on it just to fix the fucking thing.
Hey, okay. So
So,
the pieces
I mean, it's
slowly
mending the magic,
recollect.
but for me, I'll kind of go into my armor's pockets and grab some sort of like adhesive glue and start gluing the whole thing up together and polish it off so it looks normal.
Hmm.
Then I suppose after that, I'll check my room's okay, but nothing else is fucked in it.
You kind of
They
look
haven't
around.
damaged anything else.
Beside the mirror, I mean, the wall itself, like, as you kind of look at it, it looks as if some of the paper has become a bit, the wallpaper has come a bit, like, loosened. You see this one small little tear that's kind of, like, flapping.
Yeah, I'll go around mending on everything, make sure my room is pristine because I like this place.
Okay.
Then after I've fixed everything and my room's basically got the Gideon Gold standard approval, I'll pour myself another scotch. take my lit cigar and scotch, and walk my ass next door and kick the bottom of the door to get their attention.
I'm going to open the door.
As you open the door.
You are greeted by the sight of a pissed off Gideon. He's slumped. He's holding the cigar up in his hand. He's holding the top of a scotch glass, which is down by his side. He is in a bright white dressing gown, and ironically, his mustache is in perfect order, but his hair is a fucking mess. As he looks straight at you and goes, "What the fuck do you people want?"
What do you see?
I did, actually. Then one of you fuckers decided to play some music.
Funny story.
Hey, no problem. We have to talk.
Also, there may or may not be a slight misunderstanding about your character. I'm sure
He
you
squinted at you.
there,
Do you
well,
want to come in? You know, like.
you should definitely let Goldie in. You're going to need her in the room.
Huh?
So,
Excuse me?
Well,
Please.
congratulations.
What, did I win the fucking lottery? What are you on about?
well, it's kind of like the lottery. Instead of getting money, you give money to something for an indefinite amount of time.
I'm not giving anyone my fucking money. What are you talking about?
Well, as far as
Common woman, common. Do you speak fucking common? Come on.
the hotel clerk thinks you are a manslut, and she is your estranged wife, and she is with child. You're welcome. I made you a very happy family. Okay. In other news,
He's just staring at you with a squint, and there's like a 5-second dead silence until and I mean everybody on the floor will just hear an audible fucking what?
Somewhere down below, you're all imagining that a poor steward who had to deal with you is just there like, okay, yeah, I kind of knew. I didn't want to admit, but I figured it. It's a shame, really. He had a nice mustache.
Okay, well I'm gonna clear that up with him in the morning, because there's no fucking way that's gonna be out in the open.
Wow, you're ashamed of me?
No, you're just not my type. She's not my wife.
yes, you're a strange wife.
No,
She's going
no,
to
she
have
is
your
not.
baby.
Unless I had a fucking concussion somewhere between here and Mechanus, she's not my wife.
Wow.
Wow. I'm very sorry, Goldie. I did not expect this reaction. I thought you would be
I
pleased
didn't
to be
think you'd
married to
deny
such a
it.
beautiful woman.
Why
Wow.
the fuck did you tell him he was my wife?
Well, I forgot that I had a room. So I tried to come up
You-
with an excuse.
You forgot you had a room,
Well,
so you thought it was
Miss-
a good idea to say she's my fucking wife.
Well,
Somehow that's gonna get you in here.
Mr. Guardman told me his name, but I was doing blood samples. I was very busy, and it was all like static noise in my head.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
then the man.
That doesn't explain where the
and
wife
then-
bit comes in. I'm
No,
waiting.
well, I thought that people
Well,
they believe in the sanctity of marriage.
Uh-huh.
But
We're
then
not
he
married.
noticed.
It's my estranged wife. What are you talking about?
But you're still legally married. So I thought maybe he would like to be involved in this love story. But he did not.
What
did
fucking
not
love story?
want
Where she's my estranged wife that I didn't mention to him or wear a
listen, we
ring.
had to say it because it's an emergency, you know?
And the babe and
So
the,
say it's an emergency.
We did.
but it's much more persuasive. I thought that people are more
Well,
likely
clearly
to
fucking not.
I
mean,
think really the big mistake was letting me do the talking because we all know I'm not good at that.
Yeah, no fucking shit. Now I'm married with a
But-
kid on the way. Oh, God,
I
I'm gonna
mean,
explain that
we
to
all have our burdens to bear, Gideon.
you. That's not my fucking burden. If anyone's burden, it's fucking King Kong over there. No
That
offense,
is
big man.
true. Stavras, how would you feel about? Wait, no, that won't work. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
What?
so Savras, show him your wrist. Savras, show him your wrist immediately.
Show you my wrist.
And of course, you see the small injection site, very fresh.
Fuck. So, anybody gonna explain this to me?
I asked and they told me it was drugs. I'm just going to shake my head as I say drugs. And then I will hold out the parchment paper that Scrap gave me.
He kind of looks at you as you say drugs and just again squints before you hold out the paper, puts the cigar in his mouth, looks a bit like J. Jonah Jameson for a minute and takes the fucking parchment to read it. Hands it back to you, takes the cigar out of his mouth. Scrap, I think I need to check your circuits, make sure your actual gears are okay and your joints are fine. My tools are next door. Shall we go have a look?
Good idea. Let's go have a look.
Come on.
I will keep these people in here. I need to do some blood samples of all of the biologically humanoid people.
I am human, yes.
I need to do blood samples on other fellow humans, yes?
Exactly.
Right.
Especially as I'm pregnant, you need to my blood
I
samples.
need to
Fucking
check.
pregnant.
I need to
I
check.
am.
Literally going to go tell the man downstairs
Listen,
right now.
you don't
you're
know
not
that.
pregnant.
You want to look like you want to
You know
look
what?
like
No,
the
I
cat?
don't know that. No, you're right. I don't know that you're not pregnant. What I do know is it's not fucking mine. So I'm gonna go tell him that.
Oh, you would do that to Goldie?
Ooh, I fucking would. And you'll take a drink of the scotch.
I can't believe you. That's so
What?
mean.
You think I'm gonna pay child support for this not my fucking kid or my fucking marriage? No.
There's no real baby. That was
Baby.
There's no bit. That was, you know what that is? That's the whole bit in your head where you heard baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, ribs creeping its way in.
I want that baby.
Yeah, baby back ribs.
just say the word. Fucking Scottish. Just say the word, Goldie, and I'll cast silence on him.
No, it's fine. You know.
To emulate your Scottish accent, he'll just take a puff of the cigar and go, "Do it, you prick." Ah, fucking dirty.
So,
You ain't got that fucking jewels.
so as he takes Scrap next door.
Oh no, I'm gonna let Scrap go in my room and I'm going straight downstairs to the fucking steward.
Okay.
I'll tell Scrap to wait in there.
So as Scrap goes in there, you head down. Door closed behind you, of course. Then
Before he goes round the room, he's gonna around the corner, he's just gonna slick all of his hair back and freshen himself up so he's more presentable for the common area.
Mhm.
And then he'll go talk to the steward.
okay. As you head down the stairs, you see as you make your way down that Orc, what looks to be like kind of more of a henchman, really, a guard, is just there, like full suit and tie, and just talking to the steward. He then does like a small nod and walks into the common dining area. And as you make your way down, the steward's there, just like hands, face buried in his hands, and you can hear a very quiet.
Yeah. Gideon's walking up to him like, yeah, I know, yep, doing the whole like nodding, walking towards him like, yeah, I know, yep.
He makes his way,
Yeah.
pushes himself up, presentable as you come along, as if nothing's happened, of course, and just looks towards you and goes, hello, good sir.
Look, I would just like to formally apologise for those people that walked in. I do know them, but I gravely overestimated the cleverness. The whole thing you heard of wife, not true. Child, not true. I do know them. They are friends. Lilith is meant to stay here as we are working with the captain, obviously. And I'm sorry for any troubles they've caused for you.
As strange as they were honestly a fun distraction, more so than anything else. But can you tell them never to blast whatever crazed foghorn that was?
Oh yeah, don't worry about that. I'll make sure of that. That fucking foghorn woke me up. I regret helping Scrap put that shit together. Go on. He's doing that while like roping his temples, like for accident. Either way, again, I apologize. I'll take care of anything they've done. I'll go check the rooms out, etc. Make sure everything's all right.
It is not your position to do so, though I do appreciate your candor and your effort in this situation. I believe the captain has asked that your stay be extended a couple of days, so should you require anything, of course, please let us know. As for your friends, we'll work on that one.
Oh, I'd say as well with a special clause, in case this situation happens again, just let them come to my room if I'm asleep. Just, they have my permission to break the sort of procedure you have, if that's all right with you.
With your permission, of course.
Well, I'll go see what the hell they wanted now. Good day. And they'll walk off.
Does a low bow as you walk off.
Alright, yeah, he'll go straight back to his room and go to Scrap. He'll close the door, look at Scrap, just sort of hold up a finger for a second. Go sit in his armchair, put the scotch down on a nearby table, lean back. Alright, hit him with it. What the fuck did you lot do?
The ball. Let's step away from the wall a little bit.
Oh, I'm on the armchair, so that's the other side of the room.
Okay, good. So, you know how we were investigating that guy?
Uh-huh.
So we found him,
Okay.
and yes, we know exactly where he is and how to get to him. So that's the good part.
Okay.
There's also a kind of a bad part, you can say.
Uh-huh.
So we found him, but we needed to kind of maybe sort of, so it's some sort of deal to get out of the unscathed.
Alright.
So long story short, we met Goldblum X at the stores. It's
Well,
sort
there's
of
just
this
a
kid.
fucking baby on her then. Right, carry on, sorry.
No, baby. There's no baby.
I guessed.
Yeah. So we met him, and he said there was a bounty on Goldie. So yeah, that's one. Goldie and Severus have, and Michiko have a tracker in them. So they can talk freely like I do because I don't have one. And we kinda maybe sort of, promise the guy that will bring him Goldie's ex and his girlfriend for a little bit. In exchange for freedom.
Okay. Well, at least it's a good thing you don't have a tracker in you, because you can tell us what's going on. I'm not sure how I feel about, human trafficking. Just Goldie's ex and a random woman to, do whatever the fuck this guy wants, though. Is that something we're actually going to do, or is it just saying anything to get yourself out of the situation.
On one hand, you're right. On the other hand, the guy, the doctor, that's what he calls himself, douche. First of all, he called me a toy. That asshole.
Well, that's just
Second of all,
racist.
he's the one who put the bounty on. I know. That's what I told him. That's what I told him.
He's,
So what's
Gideon's
over?
literally gonna lean forward, by the way, as Scrap's going on, and hand him like another cigar. Like, here you go. Shame you went for that, old boy. It's alright, sorry.
The doctor put the bounty on Goldie, and the ex came to collect the bounty, so he told Goldie that she has 24 hours or else he is going to track her down and kill her. Either way, we're going to have to deal with the ex. So, what we can do is maybe those them in and then come in full force. Reverse one situation?
Maybe. Do we know anything about these trackers? Are they magical? Are they mechanical? If it's possible to block them, could we tell the guard about the situation and then they could help us as soon as we block the trackers? I mean, apparently you can speak freely about this, nothing happening, so you could even tell the guards what's going on.
Yeah, because he didn't give me a tracker.
Well, makes sense. Needles don't.
He injected. He needed to inject it, so he can't really inject anything on me. So, yeah. I suppose it's a bit. Really, what I know is it's like 50 mechanical, 30 medical, or something in between.
You didn't get enough of a look of what he was injecting in, because it looked like it was just a needle that pierced through them, and then that was that. It didn't seem like there was a solution or anything.
I'm guessing it's somewhere in between mechanical and medical. Oh, and we have until tomorrow.
Great. Well, did he mention any rules about these things? Did he say if you try to touch it?
Yes, he can blow them up.
Oh, great.
It can trigger it from electrocute them and blow them up.
Aha, so I guess they're probably not going to want me to take a look at them then.
No, probably not. It could also listen at any time and know where they are. I think either way we need to know the ex and his girlfriend out. He may be up here. And it wouldn't be that much of a problem since we can cause a ruckus down. Some ruckus and then run to the stores as soon as he's after us. And just slow him in.
I will,
Or, take him and just... Yep.
I will minorly interject. The plan is sound in its own because you will have the ex chasing her, obviously. But she has a bounty, an open bounty on her. There's nothing to say he's the only one chasing her.
Oh boy.
Oh, fuck's sake. Well, we can bring him a bunch of people. It doesn't really matter. 2 or 3 people, nothing there. They're all after Goldie anyway, and we need to fix those.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest with you, old boy. I mean, her ex.
I know.
Bounty hunter, etc. Yeah, fair enough, that's fine. But the girlfriend? She just seems like a woman caught up in this.
It doesn't matter. We said what we said, but we don't have to go through with it. We can just all go in and gang up on him and kill him or something, for all I care.
But we can't, because if he has trackers in them, and we go to gang up on him, apparently he can just make them fucking explode, so they'll all be losing an arm.
Well, he can take the trackers out because that's what he said he would do.
But then
He
we
then.
need to also bring the woman in.
That is true, but we don't have to get to the point where they kill them. Cycles first, and then we give her.
Hmm.
I'm
I don't.
I'm squeezing Savras's wrist.
Hmm.
Would I be able to feel if it was mechanical?
As you squeeze it, there's no. It doesn't feel like there's any real difference. Um, when you squeeze like hard enough, you see that the injection site itself becomes a little inflamed almost. Just a very tiny like bit of redness, but beyond that, no. There's no. You can't feel any physical difference. So whatever it is has to be very small that they injected in.
Can I leave those three in there and go and knock on Gideon's door?
Hmm. Assuming as well, you three are subject to letting her take your blood samples.
I wasn't taking their blood samples.
Yeah.
I was I was merely talking so the man
Yes.
heard me.
Going along with your rules.
Hmm.
Yes.
I did. Obviously, you can't really defer it with only voice, but I was air quoting blood
Mhm.
samples.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I'm just gonna knock on the door and say, Gideon,
Mm.
uh,
You can just walk in. You know, it's not.
you know, it's politeness. Anyway, perhaps I can meddle with the trackers. I mean, I have the ability to remove things from the body, and I also have the ability to heal. So it'll be a bit of a trial and error, but I can try. Also, I can't actually leave the building until I have my clothes back, or I will burn into 1,000 pieces in
It
the
is. It is
sunshine.
currently dark.
Yes, vampire. Well, I mean, we'd have to check with them if they're with the trackers being removed. If you want, I could study them to see if there's any magical sort of
I,
finesse about them first.
Be
I
right
have
back,
been,
quick.
I have been poking Savras's wrist. There's nothing huge. Seems to be very small.
Well, I can take a look, see if it's magical in nature. If it's not magical and purely mechanical, then we might be alright.
Surely Savras would be the best to try on because he has big wrist.
Probably.
So more area to play with. You know, go big and get smaller. I felt him of many ailments before. He's used to me prodding him with things.
Some of them would be a bit more.
Like, just put up for this.
What?
Well, I suppose then if we're gonna try to extract them, we'll first from a mechanical aspect. And this is only talking out of character.
Hmm.
When I said I can check if they're magical, that means I'd go and use detect magic on them,
Oh, that's
basically to
a good
see if
idea.
there's any magical nature.
Well, you do that, and if it's not, then I will cut open Savras's wrist and pull it out with my tweezers.
Well, we should probably, we should probably ask him if he's up for that first.
I can
The-
use a tourniquet so it doesn't bleed so much.
The injection site was very tiny, so you would
I have.
have to get real deep.
Oh. Oh.
I am gonna grab some of my tools and equipment from my artificer armor. Actually, I'm just gonna step into my fucking artificer armor because why the fuck?
I have a question.
Mhm.
Biologically speaking. Question. If I were to put a tourniquet on his arm, so there is no more blood pumping into his arm, and if I were to remove his blood somehow, would that mean it would stop bleeding? so I will see better for a very short period of time.
Are you asking this to our characters, or to players, or DM?
I'm, I'm asking Gideon.
Opens. Oh, okay.
Uh,
Think of it as
I,
a way to
I guess that would
improve
work. You'd be cleaning
visibility.
the area, but that would also mean you'd have to fight him, which
No, no, no. I
probably
have
would embed vampirism.
no, no. It does. I mean, technically speaking, it only passes on vampirism if he dies after I've bitten him.
Okay, so again, you're still passing it on, and at any point he dies, he becomes a vampire.
Yes,
I'm
but
guessing that shit just stays in the blood, you know?
It cycles out.
Oh.
it's not forever. As long as he doesn't die in the next 48 hours, he
Well,
should
why
be
you start?
completely fine.
Why are you doing the tourniquet all the way at the arm? Like, surely at the wrist it's a better thing? Like, maybe halfway in the forearm?
I could try the forearm underneath the elbow, but
Yeah,
I'm
why
just
not?
saying I don't have to bite the blood out. I can use an inject. I can use multiple injections, but I just think that sometimes the biting is a lot quicker.
Okay, so purely from a logical, your logic is sound. It makes sense. You suction to get rid of the blood. You can see the area. Makes sense. You're gonna need to ask him first, though,
But
and you're also gonna have to ask everybody else if this is proven to work.
but just so you are aware, I don't have to drink the blood. I can spit it out.
No, that's fine, but you're still passing the potential effect of vampirism onto everybody.
But oh, fair enough. I'll ask Savras what he thinks.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
So you want to ask Travelers with
While
the
they're discussing shit, I'm gonna hop in my arcane armor and I'm gonna write a note that basically says I'm gonna check your wrists for any signs of magic.
Hmm.
Stay still, and then I'm gonna go after whatever Scrap and Lil have to say to me before I leave. I'll go around and cast detect magic on all of them.
Whilst he's doing that, I'm going to write a note explaining my crackpot theory.
What the hell is going on?
So
Both of them forgetting that Sapphire can't really read.
Yeah.
Oh
I
shit!
was gonna say I have a -2.
Don't worry, I was not gonna show it to Stavros.
But can the guy only hear what happens outside of their bodies?
who knows?
Because if we oh, fine, I'll just make it sound really lewd, and the doctor will think it's something weird. It's fine.
Suck your strong arm.
Is that what you call it?
So, as you walk into the room, you give a general update to everyone bar Severus to an extent.
Stavros just gets a thumbs up.
She's like, you're so good.
I'll do some ridiculous charades with him, like me, and then pretending to bite and.
As
Oh my god.
the detect magic is cast, there is a question I have to ask in regards to this and future endeavours with your magic. Will you consider your magic magic, or will you consider it technological equivalence? Because technological equivalents will therefore not really be magic, but they have magic adjacent effects. So it'll be
Yeah.
like science, pretty much.
Yeah, I'd probably consider it on the closest side of science, but I imagine when I get to higher levels and do more wacky, zany shit, it'd probably have to be some form of magic infused into science. So I'd become like a hybrid. But now, for example, like my firebolt is mechanical, my grease is mechanical. I just thought detect magic and shit would be more of like, think of like a Geiger counter. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, shit like that. So right now,
Yeah.
I'd say all of the spells I currently have are all like mechanical ones.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So with your Geiger counter, nice reference. As you kind of
Thank
like plot it out and just look around at each of them, you hover it over their wrists, and on each of their wrists, mid-skull will come into normal form. On each of their wrists, there is a very kind of imagine it like a radar. The bigger the radar signal is, the bigger the magic output. You get a very small blip over each of their wrists, So it has magic in it, but that's not to say it is magical. It just has magic adjacent to it.
Can I then? This is a bit of a stretch, actually, because no, actually that won't work, because I won't have a good. I won't be able to actually fully look at it. So yeah, that won't work. Never mind. I was gonna ritual cast identify, but it's like no, I can't actually look at this thing and study it in depth because it's hidden inside everybody, so I can't tell what the fuck they are.
Do you need to have range of touch?
Yeah, in identify quite literally says one object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell.
Yeah, no,
So,
that. Yeah. Yeah. So what else are we doing? Are you trying, Lilith? Are you trying to see if you can bite anyone, or?
I want to see if they consent to letting me try and remove it with a scalpel.
Okay. Is anyone willing for that?
Come on, do some convincing. Convince me.
Really sell it.
Davras, you know that I've helped you many, many times.
Yeah.
And you know that you have a bit of a problem at the moment.
No.
You have a little bit of a problem on your big arm. I'm gonna point at the injection site. I have a way I could help. I can use these, and I'll pull out my scalpel. And I can use these, and I'll pull out my tourniquet. And I could perhaps try and get rid of the problem. However, there is a way to make this a little bit less messy, but that would include me needing to suck.
Oh. Okay.
He's suddenly invested.
Swear.
He was on the fence, and the minute you said that magic word, he was like, "I'm in, I'm in."
I pointed my
Thinking,
teeth.
you've struck oil. I'm in.
I pointed my teeth.
Oh.
Oh, that kind of sucked.
But
Oh.
if the suck is successful, then your problem disappears.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
We should get that on a poster for the wall.
It is.
And then I will just mime what I mean. Like I'll mime tying it on my arm and then biting my arm and then cutting and pulling something out.
You should just start doing it on Sabras whilst he's trying to make his mind up.
I'm not allowed to do that. I have to have his explicit consent. So do you?
That's right, boys. Gideon is all about giving consent before she sucks.
Not like
Yeah.
try
Do
it
you-
on someone else.
Do you trust me, Sabras?
I trust you, Lilith, but I thought you didn't. I thought you didn't suck.
I can also use tools. I'll hold up my needles.
No, no more of those. And I will offer my arm out towards Lilith.
This could go so badly.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Do you not like want to try it on?
Mhm.
You know, there's other drug people out there like druggies. Like, do you want to experiment with them first?
No, not really.
Oh. Okay.
No.
Nice knowing you, Severus.
No, not really.
Okay.
I've been after this motherfucker for a long time.
So.
I will tie the tourniquet round his like forearm
Mhm.
and wait until it looks like the blood
You-
flow stopped, I guess.
Oh.
Okay. So
By the
you.
way, I am 100%. Side note: Gideon is holding his own version of a needle behind his back, so Savras can't see it, which is the equivalent from a mechanical perspective of him being ready to cast Cure Wounds at any point in time.
Okay.
And I will just say, are you sure you want me to suck, or would you prefer me to use the tools?
I will note as well before you answer anything else. If you do this with tourniquet in
Then she's key.
with the tourniquet involved, rage will not help you. You will have no blood supply,
Oh shit!
so you'll take the full raw damage to your arm.
Oh shit!
I mean, this is kind of the best case scenario because everyone else is going to take the full raw damage to their arm if this works.
Yeah, no, Savage
prom-
doesn't know this.
He
I
doesn't.
promise,
Just use statistically.
Him.
I promise to make you feel better afterwards. It'll feel very good.
Right, before anything else, Aaron,
Promises.
your character, would he be even mildly on the fence about this, or is he just like, nah, fuck it, go ahead?
No, he's pretty convinced.
Okay.
Lilith's helped him out with a few instances of things, so he's pretty convinced that she's not going to do anything that would hurt him. And I imagine
Well,
if Rage is not going to help, not that he knows that, he's going to do it. Try and Rage, and then probably one of you guys is going to have to knock him out.
Okay.
so
Okay.
as you begin the procedure, you guys set up a little area with towels, and you put a little table so his arm can rest on that. As you see, it starts to, like the veins are like bulging, and then his arm starts to get a little bit of a hue of like purple almost, and you lose all feeling in that arm for a moment, and it's very weird. You feel like turning and looking at it and trying to move your fingers, but nothing is moving.
Okay. I will gently bite near the wound.
Okay, make a devour attack roll.
Oh god.
We'll be focusing on the damage.
Ooh.
Wait, is that just... That's the hit. Oh, does it not have...
That's a max damage?
No,
Was
that's
that the hit?
that's the hit.
Or is it
Uh,
1d4?
I missed. I
no,
missed.
you'll
my
hit
God.
because he's a willing target and it's a time
Oh, piercing damage.
allotted thing.
What's a d6 in necrotic?
Okay,
Oh shit.
yeah.
Oh,
Um.
sorry.
Okay, so you
So
will
the 8 is to hit.
ignore that because I mean either
Right,
way, the
yeah,
idea
so-
is that your arm is currently numb as fuck anyway and tender.
Yeah. Just
You'll take 9
9.
piercing. We'll just count it as piercing for the moment because the necrotic side is we won't bother.
Yeah.
Although not gonna lie, no, actually I don't think we can
That
ignore.
final sentence is very
Yeah.
horrifying.
I actually, technically speaking, we can't ignore necrotic because the chances of you reaching 0 and plausibly dying and becoming a vampire is there. So
Oh shit.
Oh my
hell.
God.
make a note. Reduce your HP by 9, but make a note on the
Yeah.
side 5 HP, just like in your bio or something.
But
Yeah.
if I see him looking like he's going to get really bad, I will stop.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like,
No,
"But
no,
he's
obviously.
almost dead, might as well carry on."
No. I know.
Savros is on life support.
my
Where, boy?
God.
Well, that's a tasty meal for me.
So as you take a bite, it's a lot more tender than you expected, and you pierce quite a bit through, even like the musculature, and blood trickles out.
Ew.
You get a small amount.
Dude, he's a vampire.
You get a small amount on your lips.
Is it tasty?
You picked this race.
Is it tasty?
Do
Yeah,
you
does this make you go
do you
fucking nuts?
allow it into your mouth long enough to get a taste? Because it does hit your tongue.
No, I'll spit it out.
Just immediately, like you turn to the side, spit into a little
I'm
bowl.
just gonna, I'm gonna do it mechanically. I'm just gonna, because I'm worried that if she tastes it, she's gonna be like, "Ooh,
Mm.
tasty."
There is that chance.
So I'm just gonna like mechanical, literally just
Tell a
suck it,
vampire
spit it out,
what is-
spit it out, spit it out, spit it out,
Okay.
until it
Spittoon
seems.
bucket.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's a good fucking point. Gideon is conscious that she's a vampire, so he'd probably be on edge, ready to like punch her in the back of the head if she's not stopping. Severus looks like he's gonna die.
Luckily, you
So I
notice
just-
after the first, or at least that's the assumption I have anyway. After the first bite, she's just drinking it out, spitting it, drinking it out, spitting it, not piercing any further. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I literally do it until the area around the wrist looks like the veins aren't bulging and gross anymore.
It's gotten
And then
to
I
a
will-
point where a lot of the arm itself is like, it's not like losing a lot of weight to it, but it's shrinking visibly.
And then I'm going to try and cut open the injection site.
Make
just-
a medicine check with advantage, or use. What tools do you have?
My surgical tools.
Use your surgical tools. Use.
Ugh.
So
This is just the primary incision.
So as you begin with like a slow cutting of the area, open it up just enough. Roll a d4.
Oh god.
You'll take 3 points of slashing damage as the skin is torn. At this point, you can barely feel it, though there is a rough sensation in the back of your head, like something's wrong, like your body's struggling with something, and you know that something's going on with your arm, and every now and again, if you do look, you'll see it, and you're not feeling it, but it's that phantom pain and that phantom freak out.
I'll use my clamps to keep it open.
And so as it's kept open, you look inside. You've gotten through like a good, at least like half inch through his wrist by this point, and you can see like veins around the bone and around parts of the musculature, and I mean you're getting a very, very deep look inside, to a degree, him at the moment. And as you're looking around, you see the bone itself has been pierced ever so lightly as well, and as you kind of look, you prod it very lightly with your scalpel. You see that as you're kind of looking inside, where the incision has been made, possibly through the bone itself, there are these little, what look to be slightly green spots, some kind of something growing along the bone almost, where the injection was made. And just out of knowing stuff like this is not good for the constitution of anyone, you scrape it away very slowly, and looking over at Severus, there isn't a reaction, but there is a weird sudden motion from the fingers as they spasm for a moment. His body is still feeling this, but he mentally isn't. As you
Okay.
scrape it away very slowly, with a delicacy and using the surgical tools roll you've already done.
I'll use the high percentage alcohol as well, just to like rub on to get rid of any remnants off it.
Mhm.
Is there any like object in there?
It doesn't look like it. As you bring a small kind of magnifying glass, you kind of look a little bit closer. You see embedded inside of the bone itself is what looks to be a very, very tiny, almost nigh microscopic series of something small that looks kind of like a cell, but it's not moving, it's floating. And then you see multiple of them. They're not expanding, they're not spreading, they're not multiplying, but there is multiple of them rested in his bone marrow.
Gideon, he's injected something into the bone marrow. Look like cells. It's a fungus growing on the bone.
Is it possible for me to peer over and investigate this?
I'll hold the magnifying glass in place so he can see exactly what I've seen.
As you look, with the pair of you kind of staring at it with the combined knowledge you have, you kind of look it over. It's a strange thing that kind of looks mechanical, but the tail portion of it that's with it kind of throws you a little bit. It's not moving, they're not doing anything, though with a proper look, you notice that as you kind of look around the general area, as you look at the bits of the bone marrow, there are what look to be these little trails of green something, a coloration almost, and you see growing along the bone marrow similar small green bits of something. It's a bit too tough to tell without a better magnifier.
Should I attempt to pull it out? They have small tweezers.
Can a bit of a stretch, but would identify work now?
You would have to literally like shove your finger into his
Which
bone
would
marrow.
cause a lot of pain.
Yeah.
No, then if you think you can pull it out safely, go for it.
Not to mention, given how tiny they are, and the small incision through the bone as well, you'd have to rip the bone open a little bit as well.
Yeah, no. You see, if you can pull it out safely, go for it.
I can attempt to pull it out.
Any way I can help you do it?
Or... Would you think burning it will do anything?
Well,
If
if
we...
you burn it, then we won't have anything to see what it is. It might possibly remove it, but we won't.
Perhaps I will try to remove it, and if the removal does not work, I think it's best that we just burn it to ensure it does not do any more damage. Or I can do a very small guiding bolt to
Just blow his fucking hand off.
He will, don't worry, my friend. I will help you. We will just cauterize the area. Pulls out a flame. It's fine. Don't panic. That's like whenever you go for an X-ray and the doctors are like, "You're okay," and then the guy go behind that big fuck off like blast shield. You're gonna be fine.
I'm gonna take out my tweezers and attempt to pull it out.
This will be a very difficult DC.
Oh.
Because firstly, it would be easier if you separated a bit of the bone.
I was gonna say, can we loosen the area up a bit?
I have bone saw.
You're
He's watching very nervously, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a bone.
Gideon's been a bit twitchy in his seat as you've been talking about burning things, and he's not quite sure what you're on about.
I can also do heat metal. If we think it is made of metal.
I mean, it is mechanical, which might work.
I will
Destroy it, yeah.
I will note as well, because this is very tender flesh and whatnot, it will be vulnerable damage from here on.
I was gonna say, it would probably, like, fuck him up.
Okay, I will attempt to make the surgery site slightly bigger.
Okay. There's no real way around this. You kind of just have to, like, go at it and just, like, saw, baby, saw.
Can I, whilst I'm soaring, can I just pump a healing into him?
If you do, it will just restore what you're doing.
Oh fuck, yeah. Shit, doesn't matter, ignore that, cure wounds.
So you've got to go through with it and just. Yeah.
Hope for the best.
I'm sorry, Stavros. I'll be as quick as I can.
Roll 2d6 and then have that double.
No!
Oh,
That's not the worst.
That's really good.
8 slashing damage. And as you're like soaring, luckily you avoid anything else but the bone. And as you're soaring through, it's really rough and you're trying to be swift and strong and get it over with quickly, and you chip over a layer of the bone enough that the bone is still intact, and it's only like it's not cosmetic, it's nowhere near it, but you saw just enough that nothing important is removed and the bone is still a fully connected source. You have enough room to just get tweezers in.
Okay, I will try to remove it now I have made the room bigger.
Okay, now DC is an average. Make a surgical tools check, just as a flat. Though, actually, correction, Gideon, are you going to assist?
I'm gonna help her out as much as I can, but I don't want to like get in the way. I'm basically gonna follow her instructions to a T to help out.
Okay, then do a surgical tools with Still a flat, but the DC will be a lot less because you have an assistant.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm giving you my inspiration. I'm giving
Yep.
you my inspiration.
Yo,
absolute
What a
necessity.
hey, we have all been.
I'm giving you my
Yeah.
inspiration.
Roll it again with advantage. Yeah, beautiful.
Okay.
So,
God.
I feel like somehow you snapped his spine through his arm. I don't know how you did it. Yeah.
so she's like gently picking away at them, just like, this is easy, and then suddenly jams it into his wrist, just like, ah!
Severus just stands up with the whole right of his face is slumped. What happened?
and his arm,
Did you
his
get it out?
whole hand is floppy, and it's just like, oh hey, what happened there?
Okay. We're good.
So, luckily, this is your friend. You need to focus. You kind of, while in this intense focus, tell Gideon, like, make sure the tourniquet is tightened, gently hold this part of the arm open for me, make sure this is out of the way, cover this area, etc. Wipe my brow, and you know, that kind of stuff. And
Yeah, the mini-me's just there with a towel on the forehead.
just like, just little gentle dabs. As you're getting these very ultra gentle, slow, precise pinches, you pull one of the little things out, and as you hold it with a magnifying glass and you look at it, you see all of a sudden as one of the little tails suddenly start moving left and right in a 2 to 3 second interval. And as they start moving in that interval, Gideon, you notice as you're looking down into the arm, you can't really see it at first, but then as the glass is brought back down, in that same second you notice as the others, in a lesser interval of 1 second move left, 1 second move right, and then they seem to go out of sync. The one at the end of your tweezer detonates with this small electric shock.
Because my tweezers are metal, does that mean I get electrocuted?
No, it's not enough to carry a current, but you see a visual little plume of smoke, and then inside of his arm, in the bone, you see as their intervals all come out of sync, and one by one, this connective electrical stimulation runs through the bone.
Cure wounds.
Okay.
Cure wounds at second level immediately.
Okay.
Once the magic goes boom.
So, I will note, as it does so inside of the bone, there is something that happens with that current they exude that maybe has to do with it being a part of his anatomy, but they don't explode, they just release a vast current, enough to be considered like a quick taser blast. Severus will take the following damage, and it will be doubled because it is inside your system.
Yeah. Oh, the healing that I get is.
Oh wow.
I get 13 healing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
right.
you, so as the current flows through your arm, you get quickly healed, and then the lightning runs across your arm. You of course don't particularly feel it, but then there's this twitch of your elbow, and your shoulder kind of feels tightened as the current runs just above the tourniquet for a moment, and you see these little things are constantly exuding these small currents, and he will keep taking damage.
Lilith.
Let's have a turn order, Lilith.
I would be dead. Not gonna lie.
Okay. That's
Who's going in the initiative?
it's just Lilith.
Me? Is this me?
Yep.
Oh god. Oh god.
Oh god.
Let me go grab.
That means there's a timer that's going to get counted down. before you killed me.
I got 0 with the doctor, so that's good.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, the initiative thing doesn't really work on this, unfortunately. But we'll go you, him, you, him, you, him. So as you see them, the tails going out of line, and one of them's on an interval of 1, one's on an interval of 3, one's on an interval of 4. They're all in random time, and they're all making these little maneuvers. And from the tails, this little shock is running across his bone marrow and across his bone, and connecting with parts of his arm.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to start pulling them out.
Okay.
There's nothing else I can do.
Then the question
And
is,
whilst,
are
whilst
you
I'm doing that, I'm gonna tell Gideon, be ready to heal, be ready to heal.
okay? Are you doing this at a rapid pace or a gentle pace to get them out? Because if you do it at a rapid pace, you will injure him.
I'm trying to be as calm as possible.
Okay. So are you trying to take multiples in one go or one at a
No,
time?
I'll take one at a time.
Okay. So as you, with the first equivalent to a turn, you pinch another one out and pull it out, and as it sparks with no flesh or bone, it bursts, and you quickly drop it away.
Mm-hmm.
When she pulls one of these out, can I just take it before it sparks and just put it in my hand?
Okay. As you,
In my bare hand.
as it gets into your bare hand, it still bursts and sparks.
Never mind them. Oh no, does it burn itself out though?
It seems to, yeah.
Ah, never mind them.
As it comes to the equivalent to the doctor's turn, he will take some more damage. This will be reduced by 1, but it will still be doubled.
Oh,
So it's another 20.
I'm down.
You get a nice needle in your chest as I fill you with adrenaline, which is my equivalent of cure wounds.
Roll your dice, of course.
Of course. Where are we?
So this time, the lightning, as it's passing through his arm, it gets beyond the coverage of the tourniquet, and it zaps across his chest, and not knowing the pain that his body has been suffering, he is suddenly shocked and just flash knocked out, and then you jam him very quickly. So you recover 11, of course. As it comes back round to you, Rachel, as you
I'm
kind of
gonna
Yep.
pull one out.
as you're peering,
then-
you notice there's a total of at least 6 more inside of him.
Oh God, I'm gonna try and pull 2 out. I'm gonna try and pull 2 out.
Okay. So this will be a rushed. So make a sleight of hand check.
Oh shit.
He will suffer damage regardless, but this determines if you do a lot more.
Oh, you do.
oh,
You do a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Use my inspiration. I don't want to. I don't.
Okay.
I think you'll be
about
okay.
this
I'm
character.
sorry. I'm so sorry, Aaron. I didn't think this was gonna happen.
Yep, much better. So you will take, because it's only a tweezer and it's a small thing, it will be a d4. There you go.
That's nice.
I want to immediately, as a bonus action, use my healing word and say, Stavros, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You can do this. And I'll roll a healing word. I don't know why that didn't work. That's it. There. No, that's my mace, Reinhardt.
Poof! Just break it off. Okay, so you get another 7 HP, technically. As you quickly pinch, pull, and it bursts, you just kind of drop it. You grab another pinch, pull, and you see there's 4 left, and the voltages are still bursting. The damage will be 3 less this time. However, it will still be doubled first. So... Jeez, man,
Oh,
getting
wow.
some of your levels.
8, 20, 16.
Oh God.
And right, this is just by 3.
It's reduced by 3, then doubled, so you take 16 damage.
16.
Damage, yeah, cool. I'm glad someone can do maths. Quick.
Quick math. So again, the shocking. It's technically it's getting less, but with how many shocks you've received, it's getting close to your heart at this point. And you have 4 left. Are you trying to go swiftly still?
Um. Uh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Okay.
I haven't got a choice.
Another sleight of hand.
Oh God! No! 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 Oh, come on, dice god, please. Fuck! It's not with advantage.
So
Oh.
it'll be a D4 and it will be doubled. Okay, so 4.
Oh.
Might as well, though, still, to be fair.
Fine, down
And again, I will immediately do my bonus action, healing word.
Okay.
This
So
time I'm going to do it at level 2.
ooh.
Don't you down on me, Severus.
So with
Yeah.
only 2 left, the shocks will now only be 2d8. It will be reduced by 5 as well.
9 healing.
Nice.
So the shock comes in. Oh, just gets
Why? Can
stronger.
you please stop?
I'm not even trying.
You take 14 damage.
Yep. So the shock finally reaches your heart and zaps, and it stings to fuck. There is 2 remaining. The currents have crossed his body to the point where it's reached his heart, and every time he gets hit from now on, he will be automatically KO'd.
I'm already
So-
KO'd. That KOs me again.
Oh,
Right.
then I'm gonna take out another thing from my backpack,
Stab.
shake it up, you see this little clear liquid turn bright green, and pour this chemical concoction in your mouth, which is another cure wounds.
Okay. Roll them up.
You take
Oh,
So many
nice.
resources for this. Nice.
So you are restored back to 12. Yeah. Hold on, doing
Hey,
brain
we
here.
cannot do this again, by the way, boys. I'm just saying.
So he took the damage. You, with the speed you're going, you do get the final 2. Pluck
Oh, thank
them out, and as you pluck out the last one, it doesn't seem to burst. The tail stops, and then you see this very tiny little red light emitting off of it.
I'm just gonna say, fuck you! How dare you! How dare you! No, he is mine! My subject! How dare you!
Lilith, we still have 2 more with it.
I'm gonna take that off of her before she breaks it, because this is the only one which hasn't exploded.
And then I'm going to immediately turn back and start sewing up his arm. And as I'm doing it, I'm gonna pump all 4 of my remaining cure wounds into him.
Oh,
No, we still have 2 more to get the thing out.
his arm is currently exposed.
I know it needs to be healed.
Let's take it out of Goldie and Mitsuko first, and
I'll
then
sweep-
I have 3 healing words on me. It's fine. Let's just take it out because now he knows, and it's dangerous for them.
Okay, I will sew his arm up very quickly.
So, with rapid succession, cure wounding the right well, technically speaking, like folding the skin back, sewing it together. Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna go over to whoever is nearest,
You
either Goldie or Mitsuko, and literally just take their arm, put on the tourniquet, and just look at them and like nod, and then just
No.
go to start.
No!
you
Nuh-uh. No!
Come on, Goldie. You know we have to.
Mitsuko is also
It's too late now.
Half dead. I'm already half there. No.
Okay, fine. I'll do the fox lady first. I'm gonna go do it to the fox lady.
she is currently as a fox stood on top of the wardrobe at the back of the room.
You need to do it. This is dangerous. Oh, you know what? I don't care. I only wanted Savra safe. So you know what? If you don't want it, then fine.
You,
Goldie?
Gideon, as
Oh,
you
dear.
have the last remaining one
Nuh-uh.
in your hand, and you're looking at it with that little red light, there's something familiar about it, but not exactly. Something that's just, it's like a lingering background thought that you can't seem to grasp. Make a history check.
Oh fuck, I'm downstairs.
Oh, do you want me to do it for you?
Yeah, go on, please.
In before one. Gideon. History with a 5, aren't you? Fancy. 20,
Nice.
hell yeah.
Let's go.
So, with it in hand, you're kind of looking at it. You look over at the others and think to yourself, oh, hold on, they said they only have a short amount of time and that this guy was tracking them. And that thing was just procking, and now this thing is glowing. Does that not basically equate to him knowing that it's out of his body? And then you think to yourself of something you've seen before, a tracking device from Mechanus, similar to what they implant into their subdued mechanical servants, also known as hybrids, that have been slammed in a mechanical armor. And you've learned that whenever a certain squad is sent out with these tracking devices, if one of them is caught, the whole squad is immediately eliminated. And
Shit.
you just look down at it,
Shit.
and then you look at the others, like, guys.
We gotta get them out of you now.
Listen, let me talk to him. Doctor, I've been a very good girl. Like, I didn't let them touch my wrist. Please.
Goldie, I think it's too late for that.
You and
Give us your arm.
Mitsuko both suddenly feel a surge of lightning running
Oh,
across your
I'm
arm.
actually gonna die.
Oh,
Oh.
and
I'm on death's door.
that is doubled.
I'm dead.
Both Mitsuko
What?
and her fall onto the ground as the sudden surge, a physical jerk reaction across their arm as their arm twitches and snaps in an awkward direction, and the eyes roll back and their bodies just limp and hit the ground.
Kill wounds, kill wounds, kill wounds, kill wounds.
Wait, hang on, is it still shocking?
The one in your hand, no. The one in theirs, as soon as they hit the ground, it seems to stop. And you then feel, with the one in your hand, a very light vibration. And as you kind of get a little bit closer to look at it properly, you slightly hear something, and you put it near your ear. And
Oh my god, no.
you hear, "Bring them to me now, or they die."
Well,
Are they stable, at least?
They're unconscious.
Yeah, but are they stable, so
I
they're
will
not bleeding out?
I will touch both of them and cast Spare the Dying.
Okay, now they are.
And whilst I'm there, I would like to cast Sanctuary on Goldie.
Which one was that? Anytime. Creature who targets the word a creature and attack a harmful spell. Technically, it's neither.
Oh damn it! Fine, I won't. But I'm still gonna put a healing in Savras.
I'm still 12 right off of
Yeah.
Gideon's Q, and so did the removing of the last one just KO me?
No, you are at 12. Because it KO'd you and then they pumped you with healing.
Yeah.
You, as your arm is stitched back up, with your arm very much lacking in much meat and blood at the moment, as the tourniquet is it left on him or do you remove it?
I remove it,
Okay.
and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay. So, as you cast Cure Wounds, as you remove it, there's a weird kind of like dam effect almost for your arm, whereas the tourniquet is removed and blood starts rushing very quickly.
Oh.
You feel the sort of like a sudden weary and drowsiness, and quite a sudden rush, a headache. And you feel yourself kind of falling into unconsciousness, but you kind of hold on for a minute, and you feel horribly sick.
Oh, there's like pins and needles in your arm.
Yeah, all across. The cure wounds helped a little.
I'm not doing that again, Lilith. I'm not doing that again, Lilith.
Stavros, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't think it would be that bad. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm not doing that again, no.
I'm so sorry.
You see as Mitsuko in the corner seems to naturally return to a humanoid form. You see her two tails unfurl loosely, and she's just completely KO'd, as well as, of course, Goldie in the corner, who's just slumped. The entirety of her arm, or at least around the wrist, you notice has this slight blackness around the injection site. And she is full body limped. And, well, unconscious in a kind way.
Well,
Stavros, give me your coat. I need to put it over me. Just, I know it's still dark, but when we leave, it's going to be light, and I don't want to be frazzled.
No, it's currently like 10, 11 p.m. You're fine.
Okay, that's fine.
As long as you're not staying out beyond that point, you're fine. Like 2 a.m.
I mean, that's the intention, but...
Fair enough.
Oh, and you gave your clothes away.
I gave away my hat.
I am in no position to argue right now, because my arm is numb.
I'm so sorry.
I don't want to metagame,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to say something.
Do it.
Like, look on Goldie. She might have something to help you.
I will look on Goldie. A little voice
I'll-
inside my head says,
I'll-
look on Goldie.
I will say,
Loot the body.
for the sake of not going into meta, first and foremost, because they wouldn't immediately loot the pair of you because you were unconscious. They would check
don't know
your
that.
safety. I do know
This is-
that.
this
That's
is
not what
wrong.
players do usually. But
Put them into the safety pose.
you don't know that.
but
Yeah, we're putting them in the safe pose.
And
I
make
will
sure there's
say-
no dangerous objects on them. You'll learn if you're scouts or guides or anything like that.
I will say Lilith, of all people, would have that kind of knowledge. So make a wisdom check. Technically medicine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Medicine starts with an
We just-
Okay. Well, the very base of it all, she is currently in a very horrible position to be laying. So, with the medical knowledge you have accrued as a scientist and a nurse, doctor, all of it, you get her in a more comfortable position. And Goldie, for the sake of my own knowledge here, because I have not checked your inventory, subtly imply to the rest of the party what it is they might find on your person.
Something that will help cover her her head at least.
I look for a cowboy hat.
It's not a cowboy hat.
Okay, well, less subtly, what would they find on you?
Dark
Balaclava
common
and a bag
clothes
with a
with
dollar
a
sign
hood.
on.
Okay. So in her bag, as you kind of like turn her over, there is what looks to be a little black hood that kind of spills out over her bag.
I will put that on.
Okay.
Is there also a little sack with a dollar sign on it?
A really big sack with a dollar sign, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you put that on, what is your next plan?
I guess we're gonna have to go fucking find this prick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do have something I could use, but it could also horrifically backfire again, so I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
Let's discuss this next week, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Fuck.
as you each gather Goldie, hook her up over Savrus. Well, actually, I guess not even Savrus at the moment. As you kind of just get a hold of her, you get a hold of Mitsuko, and you cover yourself up, Lilith, and Scrap, you help out where you can, like keeping hold of whoever, or kind of look over Savrus, whatever the case is. You're each a little bit worse for wear, one way or another. As you make your way out to the entrance of the hotel, questions are visibly raised, but not asked. As Savrus, with his very literally stitched together arm, the meat of which is going to be a little bit thinner for a couple of days, and you all make your way out with guidance from Scrap and Savrus to a lesser extent. You make your way back toward the doctor's hellish laboratory. The entire time, Gideon, should you choose to listen to the small device, you will hear him giving you directions. Or at the very least, what sounds like another robotic voice anyway. Eventually, you will make your way back to the laboratory. But after being rain-dappled and finding your way to the sewer grate once again, we'll continue next time, and hopefully we will see some success and nobody will die.
Can I just clarify
Mhm.
that Savrus is not a vampire?
Mhm.
Because it's only
He hasn't died.
It says a creature with the curse who falls to 0 HP because of your devour.
And dies.
So I didn't cause that.
Oh, so he literally cannot unless you devour him.
Unless I do it,
Yeah, unless you make him die with
Wait.
the devour attack, he doesn't.
Oh no, it says if he actually dies.
A creature
with
with
my-
the curse who falls to 0 HP by a devour immediately dies and reawakens after 1 hour as a zombie's servant to the vampire. But because he was knocked out
Didn't die.
several times, by other things.
Yeah, he all good.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, good. Good. Okay. I just wanted to check that, otherwise I was going to feel real guilty about that for an entire week.
You're a
we're gonna-
vampire
we're gonna
now,
make-
welcome.
we're gonna make Twilight, real life. Slightly vampires.
I can turn all of you into vampires.
Yes. Well, except for Scrap.
Mm-hmm.
No, even Scrap.
No.
But I'll find a way.
It's like,
Science is the answer.
let me see if mixing your oil with blood will do it.
Fuck. Okay.
So,
Okay. I need to think for next time.
I will.
Fuck.
This is
Hmm.
an interesting fucking night, innit?
Yeah.
This is not how I expected this to go.
I'm pretty sure this is not how anyone expected this to
No.
go.
I had a feeling, and that's why I was there like, why don't we try it on someone else first? Like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Okay.
and 2 sessions in a row in sticky situations.
That's 2 weeks in a row. Couple D maybe.
God damn it.
So, for future
Who's
reference.
our lead Cola character? That's all we need to know.
So
Well-
for all intents and purposes, we're back at the
Yes.
fucking.
You're back at the front door of the lab.
Oh, I'm not happy with that,
But
Doctor.
we're all there this time.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 2 of it. Oh. 2 of it. Oh.
No.
Okay, fine.
So, as you bring your injured allies, we'll go from next week.
Alright.
Fuck.
I will note as well, temporarily, because his arm is basically
Good session,
meat on a
guys.
string, Savrus will not be able to fully utilise heavy weapons. He will be at a not literal disadvantage, but you'll have a negative to strength-based stuff, because meat.
Are we forgetting something?
Oh, I have an extra inspiration if anyone wants it.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people have used it.
And
Yeah.
I think it's.
I feel like I
Ollie
don't-
which one he did,
I feel like I don't
because
deserve
he
it at
grows
this point.
in That one's a lot.
God, and it all started with poor Gideon having a nice nap.
Oh, man, sleep, bro. That's all I wanted to do. And I wake up to this shit. Backyard surgery in a fucking hotel room. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Your experimentation and stuff. You asking a question? You giving it? What are you doing?
If anyone has a burning question, first of
Oh,
all.
really?
I don't really have one. I'm regretting all my decisions again.
Okay. Just my question is, I guess the doctor said that little girlfriend is in some sort of composition. Does that mean she's pregnant or whatever? Is
She
that
would
what he
need
was
to,
Hold
referring?
on,
right?
hold on, let me just... Okay, so...
Is she undead?
That's a... It's a bit of a tough... No, hold on. Okay, so...
He's scouring through all his notes.
Yeah. It's well, ish and ish. It's more
Well,
because...
Can you give it a DC 15?
With the collective knowledge of you three, because technically no one else was there to get the context of the situation, but with the collective understanding, yes, she is very much pregnant.
Oh no.
Even
An
better.
unborn child for medical
Sorry.
research.
That's why he was so interested in you giving her up as well. Because
What
he gets
the
he gets
Sophie's
a
like,
3
what the
for
hell? Goldie's like, yes.
he gets a 3 for 2 deal.
Goldie's like, karma, bitch. Fuck. Fuck. Okay. Fuck.
So technically with that as well, you don't know what stage of pregnancy she is at, but with a vague idea anyway, you would assume that she isn't part of the job anymore. She's not a merc anymore. Or
Just
at least
saying.
not at the moment.
Surely your ex would be willing to help us if he found out that this doctor's trying to murder his girlfriend and unborn child. Just saying.
Yeah, but he'll also find out that the only reason the doctor is trying to murder his girlfriend and unborn
Because you
child
offered her up.
is because Goldie offered her up.
Not to mention, technically with their
He didn't
past,
give a shit until Goldie was like, "Hey, I know a guy, and you
Hey,
can have
I
his wife too,
know.
because fuck
I
that bitch."
know. So,
with their past as well, there's no way that he would believe you on face value.
Oh.
That is also true. You
Fuck,
100%
well, I guess.
believe the vampire lady though in a hood cloak now,
Okay, I'll tell him.
because that went so well last time.
Anyway, I'm going to sleep, so good night.
Good night,
Good
Moses.
night.
Thanks for the session.
We've